Hello, good evening. Happy Sunday, everyone. This is the Claret and Booze Up, or the Sunday Night Booze Up, here on Claret and Booze with myself, Gary, Nick and John. We've got 71 people online already. It's been a bit of an eventful weekend for football, which started off a bit meh for West Ham, but we're going to talk about that, quite a lot more. We're also going to talk, we're going to the game in a little bit depth because there are some good talking points I think we need to cover, and we need to sort of talk about where does that leave us now. We're moving into the Spurs game next weekend. We will do the player ratings because I think it's worth doing this week. Yeah, and yeah, so that's it. There'll be a lot of moaning, a lot of bitching as usual. But before we go there, let's talk with John. How's your weekend been? How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Very busy. Obviously, Freddie had a lot of football yesterday and today, and then we had to get to West Ham yesterday. And yeah, just busy, mate. Non-stop, really. My weekends are never relaxing. Do you know what I mean? As I'm sure most people with kids who play football know. And obviously, when you're an experienced manager like Nick, you've got even less time. You know what I mean?
No, that's it.
Well, it was a 7-2 win for you, and I think your boys won as well, Nick, right?
They won 3-0. It was a fucking heated game. I tell you, there was considering it's under 14s, there was 2 yellow cards and a red card. Yeah, it was heated. It was getting a bit ugly on the sidelines with the parents as well. Do you know what though? I will say it was predominantly the referee. The referee that we had was irritating. He was irritating both sets of players because his decisions were awful. So both sets of players were feeling hard done by. That was that was spiking everything up.
Was he a league supplied ref?
He was useless.
But was he league supplied or was he one of the parents?
No. He was league supplied. But yeah, he was bad. And he argued back as well. So it was he didn't give a handball for a penalty. The kid caught the ball in the box, and it was ridiculous. But yeah, we won anyway. So that's
I always have sympathy. I always have sympathy because your kids are at that sort of age of when I used to take Reese to football. And I ended up refereeing quite a lot in those days, as you know, right?
Yeah.
And when they get to sort of Ben's age and around your kids' age, they start really mugging off the referee.
And, there was a bit of that. There was a bit of back chatting, which we don't tolerate. I must admit, we don't. But the trouble is, I find myself every now and then with the referee. It's difficult because you do it yourself, don't you? You're like, "Fuck, ref, what are you doing?"
I can't imagine you getting irate.
Kids are really. They know how to play it though because you can't keep an eye on them. You're right in the mix of it. There's legs everywhere, right? You turn your back on them for a minute, and someone says something behind your back, so you turn around trying to find out who did it, and you can never track them down.
I made a mistake as well because we've got a character in our team called Louis. Great lad, lovely player, very fiery, right?
Yeah.
He'd come off. I'd taken him off earlier because he was blowing a bit, and he was getting on. But I thought because he's a big character, the right thing to do is to send him back on to neutralise it, to try and calm people down. It wasn't the right thing to do. Yes, so it was against my better judgment. But there you go.
I'll tell you what, you people watching the stream, Nick could surprise you because he's actually quite a calm manager. He's quite a calm manager. He's the opposite. He's the antithesis to his Claret and Booze character that he's you see every day on here.
I felt a bit sorry for the team. So obviously Freddie played for Leyton Orient today against Southend, and was talking. Obviously Southend are in terrible financial difficulty as a club, and apparently they've got until the 1st of March to pay their outstanding tax bill. Otherwise, the whole club can be wound up by the taxman.
Really?
And you can see already, even at the academy, like the coaches, they look like dejected. The place is not what it was. It's run down a bit more. There's no money in that club at all. And I was like, wow, that's terrible. Because obviously,
that's horrible.
Southend have got, they've got a long history and they've been a league club. And if they don't get promoted and or pay their tax bill, they're in all sorts of trouble. They might fold totally, apparently.
Oh, that's horrible, isn't it?
So it wasn't nice. But we beat them 7-2, so no sympathy.
No, that's it. I'll tell you what, though, before we go, 10 seconds of indulgence for everyone. I know you don't care, but I said I was going to put this little video out for Harry. This is a great free kick that he took today, right? It's only a few seconds.
Follow it up, Fred.
Right.
Look at the rebound, boys.
Oh!
There you go.
Good free kick, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, I wish West Ham had a player who could take a free kick like that. It's like...
Do you know what made me laugh about that free kick? Before he even struck it, I heard someone barking out, Don't forget the rebound, boys.
That was me. Yeah. Pick up the crumbs, Fred. Pick up the crumbs. That's normally what I say.
You are a walking cliche of a Sunday League manager. Did you have your flat cap on at the time as well?
Yeah.
Of course he did. He did. Right. Anyway, let's get back to West Ham and let's talk about that. Some would say quite a miserable game yesterday. I think, we've all got our thoughts on it and they're all slightly different. I think, from a personal perspective, I think it's a good point, but I think we could have done better. But let's take the game from the beginning. Let's talk first of all about what I think was an absolutely ridiculous first 20 minutes. John, what do you think?
Well, I called us to win. I genuinely...
Yeah, me too.
I predicted us to win, and that wasn't my over-enthusiastic West Ham fan hat. I really thought that we could take it to them, obviously with the way they've been playing. I was very underwhelmed, to say the least, about pretty much the first half, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
We didn't lay a glove on them, I felt, to mostly. We allowed them too much of the ball. We gave them too much respect. And I know that, if you go through the season, Chelsea have a very high percentage of possession in all of their games, and we have a very low percentage of possession in all of our games. So, in theory, you could say that was always going to happen. But the thing is for me, is that when a team's devoid of confidence, as Chelsea are, and it's a London derby, I think you have to start on the front foot. And the problem for me is that it doesn't seem like we're ever going to do that. And it's really disappointing to see, because I do think that before the game, I thought they was definitely there for the taking. 30 minutes in, 25, 30 minutes in, I was thinking we're going to get annihilated here. This could be embarrassing, because I just felt that they were good, but was we allowing them to play too much, which made them look better? I'm not sure, because they have got good players. There's no doubt about it. They have got good players.
Those seasons we saw at Upton Park where the Champions League teams like Arsenal and Chelsea and everyone else, they had got loads of money and the rest of the league hadn't got any money. And so Arsenal used to come into town, into Upton Park, roll us over like we weren't there, and we never really competed with it. You remember back to even the first seasons at the London Stadium where we played Man City at home and they turned up and they rolled us over. It felt very much like that to me. It felt like it was men against boys in that first half. We were giving them far too much respect, and defensively, I thought we were a bit pathetic. And that was really reflected when I watched Match of the Day. It really brought it home to me how close we were to being 3-0 down. I mean, there were literally inches. We were inches away from being 3-0 down. And it was the same ball every time. It was either over the top or straight between the centre.
But that's just a good goals. They had plenty of opportunities other than the ones that went in.
Yeah, they did. So Nick, go on, tell us what you think.
I said it yesterday. I don't want to keep on piling on the misery with it. We got the point. I would have taken the point before the game because I've got no faith in David Moyes. But when you take into account, like John was positive for good reason. Chelsea have not been in good form. Anyone in their right mind would have watched Fulham against Chelsea. Fulham were so... It was shit finishing that prevented Fulham from wiping the floor with Chelsea. And that was because they pressed them high. They got in their faces. They was aggressive. And we saw... This is what upset me most about West Ham in that game. For glimpses in that first half where we did break forward, you saw how shaky they were when you pressed them, especially in that corner with Cucurella where they're trying to do that fucking stupid triangles by their own 18-yard box. How they couldn't have identified that on the bench, even if that weren't your game plan before the game, how they couldn't have identified that and gone, I tell you what, we can fucking get at them. Let's get on top of them. Let's push them. Let's press them high. Look, it was there for all to see. So even if you ain't done your homework, you could see it mid-game. All they did was in the second half, they corrected because we played the back three. That gave us two in midfield versus their three, which was Loftus-Cheek, the new guy Enzo, and probably the player of the match, which was Felix. And Felix, he looked like the best player in the world, which he is a great player, but he had so much space. We don't press. They seemed to correct that in the second half. We were not giving him as much space. We were pressing him. But it's difficult. Tactically, it was wrong. And it just goes to show you, really, look, at the end of the day, we were fuck lucky to get anything from that game. We were not even going to get into the handball thing, although we will talk about that after. But just on the balance of play and the chances that they had, that game should have been out of sight by half time. It was wrong. So yeah, it's good that we got a point from the game. It's good, and it is good because we fucking need it. But no, I'm not happy with it. Nothing's changed for me. We haven't turned a corner. If you look at the form table, it looks better. You know, we've only lost one in five games, but you know we've only won one.
Yeah, this is the thing that concerns me, is that, you know, whether this is actually a false dawn or if it's real, because we've stopped losing so much, right? But when you look at the fixtures, that we've played recently, I mean, Everton, we were expected to beat Everton, right? Yeah. We were expected to beat Derby away, absolutely. Newcastle last week, we were not expected to get a point there. However, they had, you know, a few days earlier got through to their first cup final in donkey's years, and their two best players were missing. Yeah. Right. So that's another thing to say. They were weakened, Newcastle, but still a creditable point. And then you look at Chelsea yesterday. They put all of that expensive talent in the squad, in the team at the same time, and hope that it gelled. And for a while it did. But I think, you know, you're absolutely right. We should have, whenever we took the game to Chelsea, they panicked like hell at the back. They panicked. You know, they panicked.
Yeah. Honestly, we should absolutely have taken it to them. I mean, the fact of the matter is, we need a game like that. We need a team to sit off of us and let our good players grow into the game. That's what we need. We need to come up against an opposition that are going to give us space, let us grow into the game, and get some confidence and put in a good performance. That's what we did for them. When you're facing a team that have got an abundance of talent but they're not clicking, don't give them the opportunity to fucking click. Don't say, go on, have the ball, go and do what you want with it. Yeah. It's madness.
So we've nicked a couple of useful points, but we haven't turned the corner, have we?
No, we haven't. Well, look, the league table shows that we haven't turned the corner.
No.
We've turned the corner, in fact, of not losing, but we haven't turned the corner in so much as style of play is exactly as it was. And if look, the thing is that is frustrating is you can't say we've turned the corner because we'd be winning. We'd be picking up more points than we are.
Exactly.
And look, I want us to do well. We all do. But the point is now is that draws. Look, I'm happy with the point now, but purely because of how the game started. We could have been out of sight at half time. I agree. We nicked the goal back before half time, and second half, I think we were a lot better, right? A lot better than we. But you couldn't probably get any worse. That's my opinion. We cut a lot of the supply line out. They didn't look as threatening. You know, obviously, tactically at half time, things would change and said whatever. So after the first half or after the first half hour, I am happy with the point because I felt we could have got spanked.
Oh, on the balance of play, when you take in the context of things, it's a good point. Yeah, it is 100%.
And because we played that same system against Newcastle, and you could say Chelsea, have they got better players than Newcastle? But I don't remember
they have.
Yeah, but they're not on the form that Newcastle were when we went to play Newcastle.
But they've got better individuals. So
yeah, but I think, you know what, I do think in a few games' time Chelsea will be flying. Once he gets them gelling, whoever the manager might be.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have many. Look, I don't think they're going to have many easier tests than what they had against us. But they failed. Maybe. Chelsea failed against us. They were given a golden opportunity to wipe the floor with someone, and they didn't do it. They didn't take it because they haven't got a fucking striker. This is the thing. They highlighted that on, and this is what made it even more bizarre. I didn't realise quite how often we were sitting with a back five. It wasn't a back three. You know, Emerson and Soufal were sitting in line with a back three. It was a back five. And we were looking, they were sitting there, but they were marking no one.
Yeah, match of the day.
They were marking no one.
But this is what I'm saying about the back three or back
There's
five.
There's no one there.
The thing with it is that when you're out of possession, it does definitely go to a back five, right? It does. So when you're on attack, it's meant to be a back three. But the problem with it is like you said, if the opposing team don't play with a proper striker or two, then they are sitting there doing nothing. And then you sort of think, well, why don't he just tell them to move up the field a bit, the wing backs? They don't need to be alongside the centre backs if there's nothing up there with them.
No, but also it's like what you said, right? It isn't the back three I've got an issue with. It's the Moyes back three. If we was to play a 5-3-2, I wouldn't mind because then you're not missing out on anything in the middle. You can compete in the middle. You've got your 3 midfielders, and you've got a double prong threat up front, central. Why he never goes to a 5-3-2? I'll never fucking know.
It's never going to happen. He's never ever going to put 2 strikers up front unless it's the last 15 minutes of the game.
Scenario. Then he's got a back 5. He's got a solid back 5. Then he's got a solid 3 in the middle, and he's got 2 strikers up front. Why wouldn't you do it?
But he won't do it unless he's chasing the game in the last 15, 20 minutes. He will not do it. I mean, there was a lot of times yesterday because they had so much possession and they were a lot of time just playing side to side in front of us, especially in that first half. And we were sitting there with a back 5 marking nobody. And in front of them, you had Dek, and it started off with Paqueta, but it was Dek and then Souček sitting in front of them. So you had a back 7 effectively. And then you had pulling back deep. You had Bowen on one side and Benny on the other side. And so sometimes you had 9 men behind the ball. I mean, it was with Antonio up front by himself, which I thought was that.
Look, I'm not calling John. I like John. I'm not calling John out for being positive, and I'm not picking on him. It's good. I wish I felt like John. I wish I could see what he's seeing. I wish I felt like that. I don't. But he's saying things are starting to look up. We will be pleasantly surprised by the end of the season. We've got into a nice steady rhythm. We're better than we have been. We're better than we have been. Yeah. We're not dog shit anymore. Now we're just shit. That's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. I don't think we're very good. We're still not creating anything from open play, John. We're not. I mean, Ben Rama, he couldn't get a start in the team when he was playing well. He was off the bench. Now he's playing shit. He's in the game every week. He's been bad since back from the World. Let's be honest. Since the Arsenal game, he's been poor. Now he's constantly in the team. It's a bizarre thing with Moyes. He doesn't rotate players. The other thing, the subs bench. 8 fucking players out of a possible 9, and 2 of them are goalkeepers. Why can't we put some under 23s on the bench?
Yeah, and obviously Danny Ings has just been bought as an Antonio. Danny Ings has been bought as an Antonio backup, right? That's all he's there for. He's a bench warmer, which I find really disappointing. What I'd like to see, talking of 5-3-2, what I'd like to see when Scamacca comes back into the team, which will hopefully be next week, I'd like to see a 5-3-2.
You're never going to see it. You're never going to see it.
Imagine Ings and Scamacca. Surely it's worth a try.
That's the only way that Ings is going to work, because he's going to look like a lost puppy in this David Moyes team.
He needs to be part of the front too.
Playing the Antonio role, Ings will score fuck all for us, and he'll look rubbish. He'll look rubbish.
It's madness, because you've got Scamacca who needs players up and around him, right? Or preferably part of a front two.
Honestly, I can't cope with him.
And the same with Ings. And yet he's going to persist with either playing Antonio or Scamacca or Ings on their own.
He's obsessed with this wide build-up play. He doesn't realise that for a wide build-up play to be successful, you've got to have bodies in the middle.
Yeah.
They've got to have something to fucking aim at.
The harsh reality of it is goals win games, right?
We ain't scoring goals, are we?
We're not scoring enough goals.
No.
And the problem is with that is that you're sort of thinking, well, you know how football works, Moyes. Come on, let's go 2 up front, or let's get people around them. For me yesterday, the biggest bugbear I had was I thought, and people are going to shoot me down for this, I thought Antonio was a bit of a handful for them, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely...
Yeah, he was.
So I don't know why, again, when Ings come on, that Antonio was the one sub. It should have been Bowen again.
It was absolutely.
Right.
Or listen. Or the obvious one for me was Benny. I think because Benny wasn't playing well in that game. So for me, I'd have hooked Benny. I'd have put Antonio on the left.
He did hook
Benny.
No.
But I would have put Antonio on the left. And then I would have played Ings down the middle. And then because Antonio's he'll cut inside, he's got a bit of pace. He was actually just starting to get into the game, Antonio, when he hooked him off. Do you remember that turn that he done? On Badiashile, where he held the ball up, turned, span, 2 minutes later, he's hooked him off.
I think he did well. Antonio had a good game. He's been trying quite hard recently.
You can't knock him. But like a lot of people are saying Benny had a bad game, has been playing bad lately because the system don't suit him.
I'm not criticising him. I'm not criticising him.
I know you're not.
But he weren't playing well. He weren't playing well.
But I agree. But what I'm saying is people ain't giving Antonio the same credit. Imagine being up front. If you're any player up front getting no service every game, what are you going to do? People say he can't finish his dinner and all that, but he's getting nothing. There is no crosses coming in the box. When's the last time someone put a ball across the 6-yard box for a striker to slide in? And it don't happen. What are we doing?
Soufal put a ball in, but the only reason, to be quite honest, the only reason that ball went in and it was of a decent quality was because Chelsea, just for whatever reason, he was in acres of space. He had no pressure on him. I don't know what happened there. They completely didn't pick him up. He had no one around him, but he did pick out a good cross. Bowen flicked that ball on. And you know what? It was a scuffed finish, but it was still a good run from Emerson. I thought Emerson and Soufal played well in that game.
They did. They actually played like wing backs, which I thought was pretty when they were going forward. Yeah,
when they go forward, yeah.
I think if you look at what happened yesterday, it was a very good chance to beat Chelsea, and those chances won't come around very often, right? Yesterday was a really good chance to beat them, and if you look at, I watched the Brentford game. I watched how they played against Arsenal. That team show no respect for anybody. They don't care, right? They don't care. They went to Arsenal and absolutely took the piss out of them and should have beaten them, really. All.
And do you know what makes me laugh, Gary? Sorry to interrupt. What makes me laugh is people turn their nose up and they'll go, conversations we've been having just recently. Oh, so and so, they're long ball merchants. I'll tell you what. What I'm saying. No, but they are, Gary. Give me an effective. Well, they are. They're directs, but what they do is it's an effective counter attack because what they do is they leave Mbeumo.
Direct. They're not long ball. They're direct.
They do a lot of direct passing. So you've got Mbeumo and Tony up front. If you're playing, because it's direct passing, so if you're playing balls into the channels and you've got two players like that can chase it, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's almost exciting. But what we do is worse. We just set up to not concede, and then I don't know what I mean. Our build-up play is so slow.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make, the point I was getting to, right before you rudely interrupted me, is that Brentford don't show teams respect. We show teams far too much respect. Whenever we play one of the big ticket teams, right? One of the teams with all the expensive signings, we will sit deep and try to absorb the game and maybe nick a goal on the break.
But Gal, what has changed from last season when we beat all of the big six? We beat them in cup and league. We beat them all.
Well, the first part of that season. The first part of that season.
We're breaking with pace. We're breaking with pace, John.
But why is the pace not there anymore?
Now we're breaking in installments, right?
Yeah, but why?
Well, I don't know. Other than I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the use of Declan Rice or what. But what happens is we get to the halfway line and pass sideways.
I think what happened. For me, David Moyes' legacy has been built around the Jesse Lingard loan, right?
No,
it has.
You can't say
no.
Well,
let me finish the point. Right? Let me finish the point. This is my opinion. When Lingard came in, we'd already been found out at that point. We were starting to struggle with a few results. We was looking static. We needed something to change the way that we was playing. Lingard came in and we were driving through the middle. We were exciting. All of a sudden, we were this fast-paced counter-attacking team. Then Lingard didn't come back. All of a sudden, Declan Rice filled the void initially. That's why we saw the Souček-Rice switch, because we needed someone to drive through the middle. Declan Rice was giving that at the start of that season. We was leaking goals, but we were scoring loads. Antonio was on fire. We had a solid defence with Zuma and Ogbonna at the start of that season. Then we got the injuries, and then it all just fucking fell to pieces because once we didn't have much of a threat. We didn't have as much of a threat as when we had Lingard. And then once it fell to pieces, there was just nothing there. And ever since then, David Moyes has reverted to type. He's reverted to type with his mentality.
But that is our game plan. Our game plan is to play counter-attacking football, but we're not able to play counter-attacking football because we don't have the players or the approach or the confidence to do it, right? No. We should be, given the names that we've got on our team sheet, we should have the confidence to go toe-to-toe with these. We've got Brazil's number 8. We've got England's starting central midfielder. We've got a load of very, very good international players playing for us. We shouldn't be intimidated by anybody. Brentford are not intimidated. No. Why are we intimidated? Why do we start like that? It comes from instructions from the manager, right? But can I just say, John, before I'll answer you in a second, can I just say, I don't, at this point in time, give a toss about playing style, right? We can go out and bore out. They can go out and bore my pants off for the last 16 games of the season as long as we stay up. Because I know he's gone in the summer anyway. Look, the Moyes is gone. But just get the job done, get some points. Yeah, I don't care how unentertaining it is. Go on, John.
Yeah. Now it's substance over style for you, isn't it?
Yes,
and I get that.
Yeah, it is.
And it is for me to some extent because obviously you don't want to go down. But
no,
I was just going to say the worrying thing for me in recent games is a good thing for him personally, but the worrying thing for me is that Soufal seems to be our biggest attacking threat.
I love this comment here from G. You guys complain so much about it.
Yeah, I've
why
had
should we complain?
I've had a lot of grief. I've had a lot of grief
from,
myself.
Fourth from bottom.
I'm not
you know, fifth
complaining.
from
I'm
bottom.
talking about the game
You know?
as we see it. Not
No, you
complaining.
can't unless you're a proper fan. Unless you're a proper fan that goes to the London Stadium, stands on his seat and sings bubbles on loop for fucking 90 minutes while the opposition's got the fucking ball for 90% of the time.
Listen, we are fucking fifth from bottom on 20 points, right? The bottom side have what, 15 points? Is it? You know, we're 18 points. We're 2 points above the relegation zone. We are not doing well. We've had a slight upturn in form, but this is nothing to have a party about. A slight upturn. No, it ain't even a slight upturn in form. We've started nicking a couple of points. Right,
but the thing
which is good. But you can't suddenly.
But this is what I'm saying, Gary. You know, you're saying at the moment, you're saying like it's a choice. You're saying I don't care about playing style in a minute, style over substance. There hasn't been style for a year. Where's the substance coming from?
Yeah. Listen.
No, so what I'm saying is, but what I mean is, it ain't like David Moyes is all of a sudden going to stop playing a progressive passing game to shithouse. He's been shithousing for a year.
I know what you're saying. But at the moment, I'm not even looking at it. You know, all I'm looking at is, are we nicking a point? Are we getting a result? Are we going to stay up? That's all I care about. You look at football in a completely different way to me. With me, it is literally all about staying up.
Oh no, I want to know now. It is all about staying up. But my issue is, Gary, I don't think that this style will keep us up with the players that we've got. If we were Brentford, if we had Tony and Embuemo up front, maybe I would think, yeah, we could sit deep and we could shit out some wins and do that. But I don't think with the players that we've got, I don't think that's how we stay up.
Well, let's take the topic onto that, and I'd be interested, you guys in the comments there, to see, you know, positive and negative ones. You know, tell us. The one thing I can't stand, by the way, is when somebody like G, I don't know your whole name, G, but when you come up and say, "Oh, you guys, basically you talk crap," you know, that's not criticism. That's not constructive criticism. Give your point. But, you know, we're not going to have a go at you for loving Moyes or doing anything like that. So don't have a go at people who are against Moyes,
I do genuinely wish I felt positive about this, but I don't.
I hate this division in the fans where you've either got to be fucking, you know, you've either got to be gung-ho for Moyes or you're a West Ham hater. You know, forget all that. But anyway, look, let's talk about where does this leave us? Are we going to stay up? And I've got to say, I will start this conversation. And again, interested in what you guys in the chat think about this, because I started looking at the fixture list this morning. And I went through and I thought, oh, we need 6 wins from somewhere. And I looked at all those games and I thought there's maybe 7 that we could win. But out of them, we're obviously not going to win all 7 that we should win, right? You know, maybe we'll win 5 or 6 of them. And then I look at the other games and we're like away to Man City. We're at home to Arsenal. We never get points out of those games. And I start thinking, where are we going to put this run together? You know, every game now is as important as the Everton game. Every game that we should win now is as important as the Everton game with as much weight on it. So Forest, forget Spurs. Anything we get at Spurs is a bonus. Forest, it's all riding on Forest now. And then as soon as we do something in that game, please God, we win that game, it'll all be riding on the next one, Villa.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you two think? John, what do you think?
Can I say one thing quickly on that before we move on to that one? You're talking about it all rides on Forest, okay? Now let's look at the teams around us just quickly. We're not going to go through them one by one. I'm going to give you one example, right? And this is of the mentality of the teams that are around us. Well, I'll give you a couple. Leicester, fucking 1-0 down against Spurs. Steamrolled them 4-1. Kept on going. Wolves, 1-0 down against Nottingham Forest. 1-0 down, and they get a player sent off unjustly. He makes what's his name? Lopetegui.
Yeah, ain't that, but anyway.
No, but Lopetegui. He makes attacking substitutions. They finished that game with more fucking possession than the opposition, or was it Southampton they played? I can't remember now. Southampton, yeah. But that's what I mean. What would David Moyes do in that situation, Gary? You're 1-0 down. We've gone down to 10 men. What happens?
Well, we saw that in Frankfurt in a semi-final of our first European semi-final in many, many years. We went 1-0 down in the second leg, 2-0 on aggregate. You know, had a man sent off, and we did nothing. We done nothing.
I know. Sorry, we didn't go over it. Anyway. Sorry,
so there's the answer to your question, right? Go on, John. Where do you?
I can't remember what you asked me now.
The question is, John, where are we? Are we going down? Can you see a route through to staying up?
I think we'll survive. I think by hook or crook,
give me your justification. Just tell us how.
I don't know. Maybe it's over optimism. I don't know.
Try and look at West Ham as if you weren't a West Ham fan and you were a Wolves fan. Are West Ham staying up?
Well, you're going to look at the form table, I suppose, and say no, and you're going to look at the run of results and say no. But I just think look, it's been said in 2003. I genuinely think on paper we're too good to go down, and I know that's a phrase that can come back and bite you on the arse. But the problem for me is goals. We are not scoring goals. Defensively, we're okay. I know we're letting goals and sometimes look a bit shaky, but we're not proactive going forward, and this is the concern. Look, I think we'll stay up. I don't know how, but I genuinely do. I don't know what I'm basing that on. If it's pure,
is it based on Aguerd staying fit? The Aguerd has just got injured now that Dawson's gone and we didn't replace him.
That's another thing that feeds into my.
But what are you surprised about?
Well, but what I'm saying is that there is so much piling up against us. At the moment, we're playing one game a week, and players are dropping like flies. In a few weeks' time, we're playing two games a week, Thursday, Sunday.
I think it's a slight groin strain with Aguerd. He's likely to miss the Tottenham game, which is we're going to lose it anyway, right?
We're not going to know it until the scan comes back. That's what they've said.
You're right, but he didn't look in a great deal of discomfort when he was walking off the pitch. But I do know about Paqueta. Apparently, Paqueta, they're suspecting he's got another collarbone break.
Yep.
Oh, really?
That's him gone.
Because he had one before in the past, didn't he? When he was in earlier part of his career.
He was out. How long was he out for last time?
Do you know what? It's the way he lands. It's like he don't support himself properly. He don't brace. He lands. It's like he hasn't got the instincts for his arms to fucking come out. He just literally goes.
He lands on his neck every time he goes down.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why people. No disrespect, John, and I appreciate your comments and glad you watch. But I don't know why you think we're all utterly pessimistic. I've just said I think we're staying up. I don't know how much more optimistic you can want me to be because it's a 50-50 question. So I'm not. Look, Nick might say we're going to go down, but we're not all copying each other because I still think we can stay up. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm basing it on. It could be a hunch, or it could be the fact that David Moyes has told me he's going to put two up front next game. I don't know what it is.
But John, to give John an example, as most fans, I know lots of. Well, for instance, John and Gary go. I've been a season ticket on my whole life, apart from the last 2 years. And the only 2 years I haven't been. I still go a lot. The fact of the matter is, we know lots of our families go, our friends go. It's probably pretty much an even split. Our cousin's very positive. He's Moyes in. But for instance, another channel that you watch, Stell. Gary bumps into Stell, and all of Stell's friends, Wiggy and everyone else. What was they saying, Gary?
Yeah, they they weren't really Moyes.
They're not positive.
To be honest.
They're not positive. So
no.
It isn't positivity throughout. It's not.
No. So it is a divided fan base. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
But I think what I'd like to see, right? You've got an absolute right to support Moyes, support the team, and say, like John just said, I think we're going to start. That's fine, right? If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Just don't go telling other people because they believe the opposite that they're talking crap. You know what I mean? That's where it starts.
But my opinion, or my opinion of us that we're going to stay up is not me saying I'm Moyes in or Moyes out.
No, we're not talking about you. Not talking about you. I'm talking about people in general. You let people have their opinion, right? And we all should. We all should. I'm probably halfway between you both, right? Because look, I desperately want Moyes to fucking come good and get enough points to stay up.
We need him,
we might just do it. But I looked through the fixtures today and I sat there and looked at all the different permutations. I was depressing myself doing it. I was depressing myself. I'm not taking this stuff lightly. This ain't just to have a go at Moyes.
No,
this is just. I've done all that. I come to a conclusion, and then I thought, oh bloody hell, how are we going to stay up?
Leonardo, as well. He's asked when can we call in. It's going to be what time are we on now? In about half an hour, we're going to do the player ratings, and then we'll start taking calls, mate. So I look forward to your call. We'll put the number up, and you can call in. But very quickly in the chat, I've had a bit of a change of heart, a temporary change of heart. So I know you'll remember a few weeks ago, it got fucking heated in the chat. And I've gone out and I've reached out for moderators. We've got the moderators ready to go now, but I had an experience myself in the chat of another show the other day. And do you know what? It wasn't great. I don't want to have a situation where you've got biases, where you've got cliques, where some people are allowed to say some things and other people are fucking not. I don't want that. I'm just going to ask you to behave yourselves, and we'll try and keep it open like that for now.
Yeah, just don't get personal with each other.
Just don't get personal. Don't get personal. We don't want that. We don't want that in the chat. If we can help it, that'll be like the last resort for us if we have to get mods in. All right.
Yeah. So look, Nick, we covered Johnny. Thinks we're going to stay up. I'm in two minds, but I suspect we might struggle to stay up. I think it'll be like last two games. It'll be decided on. What do you think's going to happen?
Look, listen, I'm not saying we are going to go down. Definitely, I'm not. But the fact of the matter is, what I can't get over, what I can't wrap my head around is our people are so sure that we're not going to go down, because we are not just in a relegation battle. We're one of the worst teams in the league, one of the worst performing teams. If you watched Bournemouth against Newcastle yesterday, Bournemouth look better than us. They do. They look like a better team. You know, Leeds might get sucked into it. I think Southampton now, you know, the problem's gone. They could push on. They're only 6 points from safety. Two wins, and they're back up with us again. Well, they moved ahead of us. We're only 5 points in front. Yeah. I genuinely, I'm worried about us. I'm worried about. I'll tell you what's making me most negative, because Moyes, with the players that he's got, irrespective, in spite of David Moyes, with the players that he's got at his disposal, we should be able to get enough points to survive with the players that we've got in that squad. But the issue that I'm worried about is the European campaign. The fact we're going to be playing 2 games to everyone else's 1. Yeah. The fact that we've got a thin squad, and the fact that we've got so many important players that are fragile as fuck. Yeah. Fragile. They are. It looks like Scamacca's injury prone, Paqueta's injury prone, Aguerd is injury prone. He was injury prone when we bought him. There's been people asking questions where, when we've watched him, because he looks like an absolute world beater, you think to yourself, how the fuck have we ended up with this bloke? That could be why.
It could be. It could be why. It could be, but it's a bit of another freak injury, isn't it? Like Paqueta's one. Paqueta was sandwiched between 2 players. Yeah, I know. I know. But there's people say it's bad luck. It's bad luck. If you buy players with a bad injury record, then it's not bad luck when they get injured. Really, it happens. Paqueta hasn't got a bad injury record, has he?
He's done that same ankle that he done with us twice before, and he's been out for long periods.
Paqueta.
Oh no, not Paqueta. No, sorry. Paqueta, no. Yeah. I don't actually know. I've not looked.
No, he hasn't. And nor has Scamacca. And look at Scamacca. He's barely fit, right? So it's the West Ham curse.
Cornet's another one, you know.
Well, Cornet does. He's got a terrible injury record. But yeah, Aguerd as well. You know, he's got an ankle history. This is a groin, so it's slightly different.
Eastside, you're wrong, mate. He's done that same ankle twice before he came here. He's done other injuries as well.
I've just looked at Aguerd's record according to whatever it is I'm looking at. Apparently, he's missed 29 games before he came to us in 5 years. Is that a lot?
Yeah, but you're looking at transfer market. You're looking at transfer market, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it transfer market? Yeah, it's not accurate, mate. There was who put the show
injury,
out?
11 days.
I think
11 games missed ankle injury 20 season.
It might have been Gonzo that put the show out, which has got they use some sort of scouting site that they go to. And it's months. If you want to look at the length of time that they've been out with injuries. I'm
talking. This tells you games missed. So it's 11 games. Could be 6 months, couldn't it? If they have 2 games a month or whatever it might be. You know?
Well, it could be the last 2 games of one season and the first few games of the following season, right?
Yeah.
It could be that.
Also, the thing is what's annoying me is by starting slow all the time and conceding the first goal. Why do we need the first goal to kick us a little bit and give us a little bit of a kick up the arse? Why are we waiting for that conceding of the first goal to maybe take the game a little bit more by the scruff of the neck? Why not?
I don't know. It happened at Derby as well.
Newcastle, we've done it against Chelsea, obviously.
And Derby, Derby, they didn't score, but they got inside our box. They got around Kera in the first minute.
Yeah. Can I ask you both? Can I ask you both something as well? Because there's a lot of people in the and again, look, I'm not picking on John, but it's something he said here. He said, I think Moyes will manage to this team like he did over the last 2 seasons and get us to a semi or final. But let me ask you this question, right? Gary and John, right? I'm not saying it can't happen, but what if we are still 1 point above the relegation zone come the time that, which is very likely, come the time that the European competition starts? Your manager, Gary, your manager, John. Right, what with this squad of players? What is your honestly? What is your priority? What's your priority then?
honestly, I did say this. I admitted this last week or the week before, and that is, I would take a cup win and relegation.
What, as a manager?
No. Me as a fan, not as a manager. I would take that as a fan. I would take winning the Conference League or the FA Cup and relegation, because I do believe we'd come back pretty quickly, like we always do from relegation. Even though I definitely do not want to get relegated. Right? I'm just saying. It's about time we won a cup. And I for one would be so pissed off if he started.
But that's not what I'm asking you. You're the manager. What are you doing? What are you prioritising? You're the manager.
I'm a manager. I'm focused on the Premier League. 100%.
Yeah, and this 2 games per week malarkey is going to start causing a problem, isn't it?
Moyes will be.
I genuinely think. Sorry, Gal. I genuinely think that the reason the board haven't acted yet, and I don't think they will, and the reason Moyes is, whatever you want to call it, still playing the same way, I genuinely think they've got enough to stay up. So when it comes to the European night, listen, when it comes to the European nights, I genuinely think he will go with his strongest teams available all of the time.
Well, there you go.
Which I sort of agree with, because I think you should go to win every game, but in terms of your Premier League survival, you could say that it could hinder, especially if you're picking up injuries like we are now.
We saw how it hindered last season.
I think the FA Cup is going to be one-off games now. There's no replays, right? So it's one-off games. So that's not a load more work. So I would definitely put out a decent team to play Man United, especially because I'm going, right? And I would definitely, we've come this far in the Conference League. We've come this far in the Conference League. Well, I would definitely. We're only a couple of what are we 3 double-headed ties away from a final.
But what I'm saying is, people are saying about a cup run, right? People are saying, we could get us to another semi. What's the fucking point in that?
No. Honestly,
I mean, look, listen. We got as far as the quarterfinals in the Europa because we fucking bailed out of the semis. We didn't even show up.
He gets no credit. He gets no credit in the Conference League for doing. He gets no credit in the Conference League for doing anything other than winning it.
No. He might get us to another semi. What the
semi-final means nothing in that competition. It meant quite a lot in the Europa League. It means nothing in the Conference.
That's a bigger competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it is frustrating. Let me sort this. Go through the chat anyway, John, and I'll
do the player ratings in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to set them up quickly.
Well, let's go through some of these muppets who are putting stuff in the thing. I'm joking. Should never be happy with a semi. Well, my missus is. Moyes has won nothing, cup all day. Trini Hammer says, staying in the league, even on goal difference and no cups. If it has to be a cup, is a bonus, and we cannot risk league survival.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying, but I want a cup.
Yeah, no, as a fan, you want a cup, but then you just said
I think a year, maybe 2 in the Championship is always fun. It's always fun, and if we do have a rotten season, if we do have a rotten season and get relegated, then this team will need a complete overhaul anyway, right?
Yeah, but Gary, you just said as a fan you want a cup. The fact of the matter is, but that means you're being unreasonable at this point because you've just said yourself it's not reasonable to expect us to do both.
Nick, we are the fucking Man United of the Championship. Let me tell you that.
Right? Man United. Well, you say that. I don't think so.
Yeah, look,
this is the Giants.
Biggest stadium.
Something we haven't touched on and has been all over the media. The Chelsea non-penalty was payback time for Chelsea away. What did you think of the Soucek handball?
It was a handball. It was a save. People say, you've got to put your arm out to brace your fall when you go down. He only fell that way because that's where the fucking shot was going. He saved it.
He was intended to break his fall with his arm.
Yeah.
He didn't need to, did he?
He only went that way to save the fucking shot.
Yeah.
Just George says, if everyone is fit, we can juggle 2 games a week.
Yeah.
Well, problem is not everyone's fit all the time. Charlie Clyde, Moyes starts 2 negative in every game. Where's this one here? Downs and Soucek can cope.
Yeah.
Is it not coming up?
But But there's
I know,
another question for you.
I'm getting slated in the chat at the moment about giving my head a wobble and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. Look, I don't want to get relegated. Don't take this as me saying I want to get relegated. I really don't. I really,
He does.
really
He
don't.
does. He wants to get
Don't.
relegated.
Don't. And it never boils down to a choice between the cup and getting relegated either, does it?
It must be the shed. It must be because you're in a shed, Gary.
I just think that we should be trying for both, right? We shouldn't be giving up on the cup. That's my point.
No,
But if you're a team,
I'm not as unreasonable as you, as you, Gary. Because this is the thing. You might think I'm unreasonable. But listen. But at this stage, I could but at this stage, I could understand us sacrificing the cups to stay in the fucking league. I could.
I'm not.
You know what? I've never thought I'd hear that statement. I'm not as unreasonable as you.
I'm not.
How often do we get into Europe? What is the sole reason? Because we're never going to win the league. So what is the sole reason we play in the Premier League? It's we
played. We played. Do you not remember playing Astragugu 2 years running? Europe.
How can we just quit and say, oh no, this is too much for us now? This two-legged
come on. Let's look. We want to get onto the calls.
Croatian giants.
We want to get onto the calls.
All right.
Come on. Right, Gary Fabianski, you go first.
Yeah, played well. Couple of good saves. Sorry, I forgot the scoring system. I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
7.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, John, you put the comments up, yeah?
Yes, mate. If you slow down.
By the way, on Fabs, there was one brilliant bit of distribution from Fabs yesterday. Did you see it?
Huh?
Which one was that?
He put the ball out really fast, right on the button.
A good throw. A good throw.
Yeah.
And then Bowen, who should have played fucking Ben Rama in, didn't.
Yeah, it took him by surprise, didn't it? He's never seen Fabs do that before.
I know. But Ben Rama, in one of the few occasions we got behind, Ben Rama was in acres of space if he'd have just played the pass through. But he didn't. Right, I'll do Aguirre. I'll be honest with you, he's had all the praise in recent games. I think he was the worst of the back three before he went off. He was at fault for the goal. Yeah. He was at fault for the goal. I'm not going to give him a donkey because he got injured, and I don't want to be horrible, but he's getting 5 below average.
Yeah, he weren't good. He was responsible for that goal. And responsible for the other goal that Felix scored as well.
Yeah, he was. John, Kera.
He was all right.
He was probably the best of the back three.
I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought Oggy was good as well, but I'd say Kera wasn't brilliant though, was he? 6.
Well, what he did wrong is he gave a free kick away on the edge of the box in the first minute because he always gives away something in the first minute.
Yeah.
But that from that point onwards, it was good.
Do you know what he did do at the start of the second half? We was obviously under instruction to go and hit Felix hard. That was what happened. He munched Felix almost 3 times in quick succession.
Ah, good lad.
He did.
Good lad.
He did.
I'll give him a 6. He does have that rashness about him, doesn't he? He likes a rash tackle during a game.
I can't help it. I like him.
Yeah, I know you do.
There's a bit of filth about him. There's a little bit of filth about him.
Yeah. I know he's an accident waiting to happen, but I think there's a player in there somewhere.
I'll tell you what, Oggy, right? Is this me?
Yeah. Go on.
Oggy put in a couple of real experienced, professional, cynical tackles on people yesterday. There was one where he just used his body weight and fell on the guy. Yeah, it was brilliant. Right. So I'm going to give him an above. Listen, he's just come back from a career-ending injury. I'm going to give him a 7. He's well above average.
That's good. Can you not see the chat, John?
Yeah, it's really slow. My end. Am I going out of thingy?
I think you're. Yeah, you're getting stuck. Yeah, because that's it. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, so what did you give him?
Felix sounds like a cat. Should have had Zoomer on him.
Yeah. That's a good one, actually. Yeah. Right, Gary. Sorry, I didn't hear what you gave Oggy.
I gave him a 7. I'm well above everybody else in the chat, but I just enjoyed his performance yesterday. That's why I did it.
That's fine. Right, Paqueta. I'll do
7 minutes.
7 minutes. I'll give him a 6. Can't really score him. That was easy. Right, John Rice.
He didn't have a fantastic game going forward in terms of being, driving out with the ball. But I think defensively he did okay, but he was massively overrun in the middle. And obviously, I mean, as well as Souček did when he came on to some extent, he had to play alongside Souček again. I'd probably say 6 for me, average game.
6?
Yeah, he didn't get an opportunity to really maraud forward, did he? Really, he didn't have that.
Does he get a handicap for the fact he woke up feeling fucking rotten and he still played anyway?
Well, did you see the abuse he got because he turned up at the Brits to give an award out?
Did he?
He turned up at the Brits last night to give an award out, and there was loads of West Ham fans going, he said he was sick this morning. Now he's now
Did he come out to Rice Baby?
Oh my God!
No, but look, the guy's building a what do you call it?
Listen,
Brand.
we've got a, listen.
Brand.
Listen, I'm sorry, we've got a superstar at our club. Deal with it.
He's trying to
we
build a
have.
brand, if you know what I mean.
He's got a but he's got a brand. He's got a
Yeah, I
brand.
know, but his agent and marketing team are pushing it. They?
I mean,
He's been on
they're not.
bloody league of their own.
They're
and
not
all.
inviting Souček to the Brits, are they? Let's face it. So it's as simple as that. Right, Gary.
Hey, look,
Emerson.
David
Emerson,
M.
Emerson, I thought had a great game. I mean, you know, I argued with Paul that he meant to finish, that he played it into the ground and it bounced over the keeper. I argued with him. Paul said it was a fluke. I said it was a great finish. But no,
he was in the right place, wasn't he?
he's playing with freedom down the left-hand side. I really like him as a wing back. He's a good reason that we play a back three. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I think we're generally quite solid down that side now. So, and he takes a great set piece, probably better than Cresswell.
I like him.
So I'm going to give him he'd probably be my pick, either him or Soufal. I'll give him an 8.
I must admit, I do have to apologise for calling him the Brazilian Masuaku earlier on in the shows as well. I wrote him off.
You
I
write him off very quickly.
I
That's
got it wrong.
unlike you to do something like that, Nick.
I know. Right, Vlad the Impaler, John.
I think this guy deserves a lot of credit. I questioned his form this season.
Yeah.
He has been a little bit off it. People started suggesting that his newspaper article in the Czech press demanding that he wants to play. How dare he demand that he wants to play? I think he's been alongside Emerson in recent weeks, but I think he's been our biggest attacking threat, really, than them two. But the amount of work he does up and down that wing, his work ethic is always high of my list. And he may not be as technically gifted as a lot of the players in that team, but bloody hell, he puts a lot of effort in. I yesterday said he'd be my man of the match. So I'm going to give him an 8 to go alongside Emerson, and then we'll let other people decide what they think.
He got a pre-assist. He got a pre-assist as well for the Emerson goal, didn't he?
Yeah,
it was a cross from him.
I'm taking umbrage with this from Garino just quickly, right? 1 minute. What? He's Italian after. He's not Italian. His nan went there once. He's Brazilian. Emerson Palmieri is Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I'll give him an 8.
Nan went there once.
Soufal gets an 8 for me, mate.
Soufal gets an 8. Right. Okay.
If only Soufal could cross.
That could be his highest ever rating on this show. That's his highest ever rating.
Johnny got the pre-assist. It was a great cross onto Bowen's head. Who got the assist?
Talking about pre-assists, mate.
Assist, goal.
Championship manager. Jesus Christ.
Who got the pre-assist?
Who played it to him?
Emerson is a fake Italian.
Right, Gary, go on. I'm going to let you go to town on Ben Rama.
Ben Rama, I thought, was absolutely pony yesterday. He literally did nothing of note at all.
Donkey
I
worthy?
can't remember him doing a thing. I think sadly he is. I'm in two minds whether to do this or not, whether to call him below average or
Eastside's
donkey.
going to go fucking Gary in the chat.
Is it a bit too much? I'm going to let the people in the chat decide. Does Benny
He was
deserve
bad.
a donkey?
He was bad. He's been
Benny
consistently
deserve
bad for a
4?
while. Listen, it ain't personal, everyone.
No, it's
if you're a 4,
personal. It's
if
nothing
you're
personal.
we're giving loads of
crap
players
yesterday.
donkeys.
I do think he was crap yesterday.
was
There's a lot of
what?
5s and there's a lot of 4s. What should I do?
James Allen should be in mine. I think you've got to go. I think, look, it's not looking good.
Stop telling him what to do.
Mandy G, look, donk him up.
Dunk him up. Yeah. All right. Yeah, go on, donkey. 4.
What do you think about this? I've seen this comment a couple of times though, right?
What's that?
Notice how Benny stopped performing after we moved to a back 3.
That's possibly a point.
This is true,
yeah?
but you can only base it on the performance.
Yeah, on the performance.
There you go. Right, I'll do Mickey. I thought that Antonio, in considering the role that he has to play within our team, going up against two fucking good defenders. He was growing into the game. I couldn't believe it when they took him off. He was the most effective of the 3 attackers because I don't agree that Bowen was any good either. I don't. I know he got the assist after Soufal's pre-assist. But I don't think Bowen was any good. I think Antonio was. I think he was all right. He ran his socks off.
He did.
I think he's almost back to his. He's beast self. Yeah, the goals ain't there, but I think he done all right. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm giving him a 7.
He really, Antonio though, didn't he? He really splits opinion. There's in the chat is 4s and 5s and 7s. I think people really do have to look at the lack of service that he gets.
Yeah.
He is constantly feeding off scraps. What is he meant to do?
Leonardo, Leonardo, there's no sitting on the fence on this show, mate. No decimals. No decimals, no 0.5s.
He is less a striker and more of a labourer. He's a labourer.
Yeah. And people, but the thing is, Gal, people put that down to the fact that he's crap and he's got no technical ability.
No.
But they don't play the ball in front of him anymore. They don't play the ball through the channels. He's always got his back to goal. All he's really got is to win free kicks because he's got no support around him.
That was great forward play, wasn't it?
Thankless task up there, right? He's doing it and he does it well.
Fuck. But that just before he went off was great forward play, wasn't it? You know, that ball up to him, it was a crap ball, really. He controlled it.
Their centre back, yeah,
really good, really good. Right, let's get Bowen out of the way, John.
He was crap, to be honest with you. I thought he was woeful. I think he should have got hooked.
Got an assist.
It weren't really an assist, was it, Gal?
Not
really. Officially.
It's not, though, is it?
But it is, officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but bloody hell. Christ,
was he better than Ben Rama in that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but he was still crap.
Only slightly.
Yeah. I think for me, Bowen's going to get a 5, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
When he scored them 2 goals the other week against Everton, we thought it was all comeback kid, but it was obviously just because it was Everton at that time.
I know. Right. Let's go to Souček. Got most of the game. He was one of the reasons why I almost changed channel when he got brought on. I couldn't believe that. But I don't think he played terribly badly. But I'll go to John. Go on, John. You can do this one.
He does what he does best. He puts a few blocks in. He still only passes sideways and backwards though in the main, which is frustrating. But he did do a few blocks. He made a great save, as we know, down to his left post.
Yeah, he should get an extra point for that, I think, especially because he didn't get given.
He was all right. He wasn't his worst that he's been. You know, he did all right. And he must know that a lot of the fans, when he stands up to come on, a lot of the fans' hearts and jaws drop. He must know that. He gets that vibe. They're not silly. So I'd give him a 6.
I think he done all right.
But
it wasn't great.
Have you seen a West Ham player? I'm not taking the piss, with worse passing ability than Souček.
No.
Well, no,
really.
definitely not. And he does panic when people get in his face, and it's like every opposition we play against knows that now, so they get in his face straight away.
Would you say 6, John?
I'll give him a 6. Yeah, I don't think he was terrible. I'm judging it by him. Look, Andy Armit, 52% pass completion from Souček.
I'll do Johnson for Aguirre. I think he done thoroughly well at left centre back when he came on. He did nothing wrong. I think Johnson was. I was panicking. I was panicking when Johnson came on for Aguirre, because obviously for obvious reasons you're losing Aguirre and then you think, fuck me, Johnson, bless him. There's another position he's playing, left side centre back. But no, I think he played well. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm giving. Do you know the thing about John? Do you know the thing about Johnson? He got called in at Newcastle. He got called in for an injury yesterday.
Yeah,
and both times he's just come in, got on with it, and slotted in and didn't look.
I like him.
On both occasions, didn't need time to adjust to the speed of the game and all that. Just on with it.
He made 3 really good interceptions yesterday, and it was, I think against Newcastle, he came on the right hand side. Yesterday, he came on the left hand side. Didn't he?
Correct.
Brilliant.
He's so versatile. He's brilliant.
And next, we've got the central defensive midfielder that never plays in central defensive midfield. He's been played in a number 10. He's been played right wing. Now he's played left wing. John, how do you reckon he did?
He did well for a left winger. Yeah. He's. Do you think he thinks? I wish I'd go back to Ipswich. He sent me on loan to Ipswich just to play where I play. Please. I think he might think that. It's the shame of it is he's a West Ham fan as well, which makes it worse because
he should have just stayed at Palace. He should have stayed at Palace.
Listen, right? He come on yesterday and he did a very good job in helping bolster the numbers in midfield and shut that game out. So I think he did what Moyes asked him to do, but the fact that he's being asked to do these sort of menial tasks, which is what it is basically, help shut a game out. He's not being given a main part in the game. It's a little bit insulting for him. I just hope that next season, under our next manager, that somebody that the next manager sees the real value of Downs and starts using him because he is a quality player.
He's a good player, but that's what I'm saying, Shell. I know he wasn't at Palace, but we nicked him from Palace at the last minute.
I hope because he's a West Ham fan that he's happy to just like let this. He knows this season's going to pass him by. He knows that now already. He knows that Rice is going. He must know that his chance is going to come. I hope so.
I just hope that once we show Moyes that fucking door over there, once we show him that door, whoever comes in next can see the value in him. You know,
shut that door.
But anyway, John, I didn't get your score for him.
For Downs, 6.
Yeah. Right. I still haven't got an icon for Danny Ings. So he's going to have to be Pablo Fornals today. So Danny Ings is Pablo Fornals, everyone. Let us know what your score is for Fornals. Gary.
I thought Ings did all right. You know, he came on. He's surprised that he's
Chasing shadows. Did well, yeah.
Yeah, he got quite a good spring on him, and he jumps up. He wins quite a few. Quite a few headers.
How many times he touched a ball?
Well, there was that little exchange of play where we nearly found him in the box. Nearly found him. Bowen nearly found him.
Oh, so the ball nearly got to him. The ball nearly got to him.
Oh,
nearly
right, once. Yeah.
A striker. I've said this with Scamacca, with Antonio when he was getting pelters, and now it's going to be the same thing for Ings. A striker with no service may as well not be on the pitch. That's
exactly. It. Yeah.
Stick Haaland up there. He'd be exactly the same. Right, but so what are we giving him?
I'll give him a.
It's a 6. It's average 6. Average 6. Right. Oh, do you know, I can't score him because I'm going to get hammered for being fucking. I'll donkey that fucker right up. So Gary, I'm going to give you Moyes. Honestly, I can't. I'll get pelters in the chat. So
look, I don't think he deserved a donkey. I'm not going to give him a donkey, right? But I will give him. I'll give him an average. I'll give him a 6, right? Because I don't think he got the formation wrong. I think he got the approach wrong. So it's kind of half and half, and we got a point out.
Cheers,
of the game.
Sharky.
Yeah, for cheers, Sharky. So we got a point out of the game. So yeah, I think 6 would be all right. I'd like to give him a 5.5, but we don't do halves. What do you reckon, John? John, level me out here. What do you reckon Moyes deserves?
6. You're giving him an average.
I'd say 5. I don't think the donkey because we got the point. I wasn't impressed with the start again, but we did get a point. Like it or not, he made some sort of tactical changes in the second half, and we didn't let him have so much space. So for me, it'd be a 5.
All right, let's go with 5. Let's go with 5.
I was going to allow you decimals there, Gary, just so I didn't get 6. I was going to go 5.5.
Half a donkey.
But anyway, okay, right, that's that. That's the end. Oh, man of the match. Let us know your man of the match in the chat, please. We'll let you select them. We'll have a quick count up. Come on. Yeah. It hasn't got to be anyone that we've marked. It hasn't got to be based on any of the scores. Let us know your man of the match is. Give him a minute.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'd go for Soufal personally.
Emerson.
Don't influence the chat, John.
Emerson.
No one listens to me. Not even you listen to me.
Go for Emerson, people.
Emerson.
Go for Emerson, people. What's a knobhead you really are? Oh, look, everyone's going to do what I say. Me. It's fairly split. Oh, there's an Oggy. Someone said Oggy.
Oh,
someone said Moyes. I'm not sure. It looks like Emerson to me, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty split, Emerson and Soufal, you know. Let me have a look at this.
Well, they both played well, to be fair. They both played well.
John's actually going to count them. Just that's what he's going to do.
It is Soufal.
It ain't Soufal. There's loads of Emersons there.
About 5 Soufals and about 200 Emersons.
Everyone who's put Emerson. Hang on, there's loads of Soufals. Look, there's a Soufal from Claret and Booze.
12 pigeons.
Look, that's one. Look,
pigeons all over the place.
Look, the fake Italian. That's one and all. That's an Emerson.
Yeah.
Someone there, Claret and Booze said Soufal.
Oh, yeah. It is. Wayne Morris, thank you very much. Very kind. Very kind.
Cheers, Wayne.
Can I give my bank details? Because I don't ever see this money, so I don't know where it goes.
We've got to bring the...
do you know what he is, Gary? He is a stereotypical cabbie that pleads poverty, isn't he? He is, isn't he?
I know.
Game's dead, isn't it, John? Game's dead.
Who's the one with all the posh lighting behind him?
The game's dead, isn't it?
Nick,
I've got a grey wall behind me, mate.
Nick, that John, he's caked up.
He's Keiko. He's Keiko, everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's the one with a green stream? Look, you're drinking big Peronis. I'm drinking Tango.
Oh, get rid of that shit. Okay. Right. Shall we open the phone lines up?
Yeah, let's get some Muppets on the phone.
Okay. Right. 1 minute. Well, someone
So
is aching to call. I'm sure you can guess who that is. So I'm going to give him a call now.
Yeah, just so you know, anyone who phones up, no disrespect, but we're going to try and limit to 10 minutes because we want to get more people on as we can. If there's calls, there is.
Yeah. Right, we do have one.
Who is it?
Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, hang on, mate. It probably would help if I paired you. So stay there for 1 minute.
Who is it?
It was Gary. 1 minute, mate. Stay there. He was too quick. He was too quick.
Oh, you was too slow.
Gary.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
Hello, Gary.
Hello,
Gary.
Hello.
Here he is. It's working.
Hello, mate. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Gary. How are you?
I'm all right. You might have changed my name tonight to Gary from Rantford tonight.
Gary from Rantford.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a rant.
Yeah. Couple of points, lads. First one about the system. Obviously, this three at the back with the wing backs, it's making us harder to beat. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think draws are going to get us out. Draws are not going to get us out of this trouble. You know, you might keep us just above the bottom three. You only want one bad result and one of the bottom three stop winning, and you're in the bottom three. And so many West Ham fans, I'm not saying John, because he did say he didn't know why.
Just say John. Just say John.
Yeah, it's John.
No. Because what John was saying was he just thinks he will, but he couldn't explain why. Which I think a lot of West Ham fans are like that, because the trouble is we've got to finish above three teams to stay up. Now, I know two of the teams we're going to stay above, and that's Bournemouth and Southampton. I've got no doubt about that. But the third one, you've got Everton, who've got the new manager in Daesh. You've got us, you've got Leeds, Forest.
Yeah.
And Leicester pulling away. Wolves are going to pull away. Leicester 1-2 and a bounce. Wolves are 1-2 and a bounce. Palace are the only team that might slip into it because they're not winning, but they're drawing a couple. But they've still got a few points buffer. But obviously this three at the back is not going to win us games. It might get us draws, but we need to start winning games. And I'm not sure how we're going to do this, because I think we need to go back to a back four. And the other problem we've got is these players we've brought in, they're all brilliant players. Agard, Pakaka, Skamaka, Paketa. But they're so brittle, all of them. Yeah. Now, whether it's because of the rigours of the Premier League and, this is what's happening, Cornet, I mean, they're all injury prone, every one of them. So, a caller said earlier, if we stay injury free, we'll stay up. But we're not injury free, and we haven't been all season. So I'm a bit concerned about, I think we've got to get another system where, I said to you the other week, Antonio was absolutely fuming when they took him off yesterday. Yeah. I mean, the people that have a go at him, he has literally no service. He's pretty fresh this season. He hasn't been played as much. Why didn't Moyes yesterday, put Antonio wide, like we're saying, try maybe 1 week, Antonio one side, Bowen the other, Skamaka rings down the middle, play 4-3-3.
Because he's not an adventurous manager.
No, I know, Nick, but he's got to start to realise that a point a game isn't going to get us out of it.
Do you know what I think he's done? Do you know how simple I think David Moyes sees this survival plan? I reckon he's got the fixture list in front of him. I reckon he's gone, right, that one, point. That one, point. That one, possible 3 points. That one, point. And every game plan is moulded around the points that he requires for that game.
It's not, though,
rather
is
than
it?
just fucking
it's
going. Rather than just,
it's not.
I reckon it is. I reckon he sees it that simply. That's why you telling me we didn't go to Newcastle for a point.
It can't be, Nick, because he plays the same way against everybody. So
but the mentality changes, and it's not just you know when he goes for it. It's like the Newcastle one was a joke. The last 30 minutes we was fucking holding on for the point. I think he does see it that way. I think he's going to do just the bare minimum of what he needs to do now to get those points. That's what I believe.
But that's because we're the more you're in this sort of relegation battle, the more that becomes paramountly the most important thing. Like Gary said earlier, like Claret and Booze, Gary, it's about points now.
Yeah.
The style of play is irrelevant because now we're in a predicament.
I mean, it always has been irrelevant, though, isn't it?
That first 30 minutes yesterday, I was absolutely fuming. I mean, I couldn't believe how we just sat off. We looked like we just woken up. And we could have been another day. We're 3-0 down in that first.
You said we'd win, Gary. You told me we'd win.
Well, I did. Because I tell you what, Nick, as much as they dominate the first half an hour, when we suddenly woke up and started to get crosses in, they looked very vulnerable at the back.
Yeah.
And if Antonio had a bit of support up there, we could have won that game.
Yeah, no, but you're right. But the reason that I'm not confident is because of Moyes. and it's because of the way that he plays. That's why.
What's this question here? Oh, this is Nigel. Oh, it is Nigel.
Nigel's changed his thing. He's gone to Nigel. He's gone to being Nigel.
He spelt his name wrong.
I mean, Antonio. Ings or Skamaka couldn't play that low roll up front where Antonio plays. I mean, Antonio's not getting the goals. He's getting no service at all. How many chances he had in the last 2 or 3 games?
No, hardly any. But I wasn't angry at half time yesterday. I wasn't angry. I was relieved. I was relieved that we were still in the game.
That's right. That's the word.
It was 1-1, and I was hoping that Moyes was going to get those boys into the changing room and explain what his devastating plan was going to be to go at Chelsea. I
think you're being completely unfair. I think David Moyes designed all of this. I think he knew that both of their goals were going to get chalked off, by marginal decisions. He knew exactly what was going on. He knew there was going to be some poor finishing. I think he knew we was going to be going in at 1-1. It was all by David Moyes' design. There was not an ounce of luck involved, none.
But I'll tell you what, the Lino didn't even need VAR. He called both of those offsides.
Fucking hell.
He was the man of the match, Lino.
Yeah.
Was that the one with the yellow flag?
Man of the match in the first half. Yeah.
Top draw.
They've all got yellow flags.
He even ruled our one out late on as well, the fucker.
I'll tell you one other thing. Weren't that poetic justice yesterday when that penalty wasn't given? Because I thought back to the game at Chelsea early in the season
I
when
agree
that
with
goal
this.
got rolled
I agree
out.
with this.
And I sat there and I laughed at the Chelsea fans. And I thought, well, fuck you,
They
we robbed that day.
They got gifted those points, didn't they? They got gifted those points. Yeah.
I completely agree with that. It was justice. Yeah. It was justice.
But do you think possibly? Nick, sorry, do you know Emerson? I mean, yesterday, Paul Fowl and Emerson still got the highest points up at markings. They both played very well, very well. Do you think Emerson? I know there's a lot of people think he can't play in the back 4, but do you think? What do you think about that?
I'd play him in the back 4 over Cresswell, and I'd persist with it. I think it depends what you're asking him to do. If you ask him to defend, he'll defend. He defends well as a wing back. He's our only option, and I think
defending as a left back proper is a little bit different.
But I think you might see. John made a very good point on his video. He makes very few good points, but he did earlier on in the week where he said the rise of Emerson has also coincided with the rise of Aguero. He thinks that Aguero has been helping Emerson. And I do.
Gives you confidence with what's behind you, doesn't it? Someone like him is behind you. You're more confident.
Aguero could possibly be gone. We don't know how bad it is. We're hoping that it's not a bad groin strain. We're hoping it's not.
Listen, lads, I'm going to ask you a question. If I was a manager of West Ham now and you use 3 of my backroom staff, right, and you think of another system to play, and we don't want to play 3 at the back, we don't want to play wing backs. What system would you play?
I will play 3-5-2. I'll play 3-5-2, and I'll put Skamaka's back at the weekend. I'll put Skamaka and Ings up front in a 3-5-2. Give Antonio a rest and go for it. Flood that midfield so we're not outnumbered.
I wouldn't give Antonio a rest. I'd put him on the right for Bowen.
There you go. Put him on the right for Bowen.
Yeah. But that's the other thing yesterday. Moyes is so stupid yesterday. Felix won the game the first half an hour, and we were being outnumbered in midfield. So why don't you watched Everton last week against Arsenal? Everton went out right from the first minute. They were right in Arsenal's faces.
He only reacted.
Got the crowd up.
But he only really reacted to it. Obviously, we could all see what was happening, right? Anyone could see that this was going bad. We was outnumbered in midfield. Felix was running the game. He didn't really even react after they scored. Not really, because our goal came from nothing. It was a goal from nothing. For the first half an hour, we was being snowed under. But most managers would look at that straight away and go, "Fuck, I've got to stop that. I've got to stem that flow. Look at him. He's pulling the strings." And you can't allow a player like him to have that much space. You can't.
No, you can't.
When you got these technical sides like Chelsea and Arsenal, I mean Arsenal. It's no coincidence. The last 2 games they've struggled. They've struggled against Everton and Brentford because they were both direct sides, physical sides, get in their face. We've got to start doing that because Moyes is going to revert back to the old ways the last 2 years now because he'll look at the players that he brought in. They're all injured, and he'll go back to the and like Gary says, end of the day now, it's about staying up, really. Can I ask you something? When you say David Moyes is going to revert back to the old ways, we haven't moved away from the old ways. It's still the fucking same. Yeah. Nothing's changed.
We have.
We haven't. The speed of transition.
The speed of transition has changed for some reason.
Well, it's got slower.
Yeah.
Got slower, yeah.
I think he's got more excuse to go back to that, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got more excuse to play this way, carry on playing this way. That's what I mean.
wanna ask
because he'll
Gary-
turn around and say the injuries we've got.
Gary, hang on a minute.
Gary, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Gary from Romford?
Go on, mate.
You said if we were your backroom staff, could you tell us what our roles would be, please? Who would be?
No, I'm not about a think tank, a boot room type thing, where you're sitting here and training for the game, and you're thinking of like next week, for example, Tottenham. Do we go to Tottenham next week, and do we just sit back, or do we actually have a go at them when they're so vulnerable without Luis in goal, no Romero, and they just lost 4-1 at Leicester?
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you go for it against Tottenham, or do you just?
I'll tell you what. Let's get back to John's question first, Gary. 1 minute, right? There's two positions at the club. You're the club owner. There's only two positions available. There's the bloke who cleans the boots, and there's a bloke who runs a team. Who gets to manage the team, and who gets to clean the boots? Me or John? Come on.
I'll do that. Well, Nick, you are a manager, with the boys team. So
there we go.
Hey, manager.
Clean my fucking
I'm
boots, you
the
Steve. Clean my
manager
boots.
in the League of Hertfordshire.
That's it.
One more thing, right? My mate Nigel laugh. That will. One more thing. I was going to say to you, right?
Go on.
Well, if Southampton and Bournemouth are going down.
Yep. This is your last, Gary. This is your last point because we're letting you run over the 10-minute mark. But go on, last one.
Yeah.
Last one.
So we're staying up.
Yeah, go on.
And Bournemouth and Southampton going down. What other third team? Who's going down?
John.
Who did you say? Bournemouth and who? Have gone?
Southampton.
Well, I think Bournemouth and Southampton are going to go. I think they're going to go. Don't know what manager they get in. I think they're going to go. If we're going to stay up.
If Everton get a win tomorrow, I think Everton
to get a draw tomorrow night at Liverpool.
That's what I was going to say.
Everton have got Leeds next week.
Right.
That's a massive game.
I still think Everton, but if they get something tomorrow, then I'm going to change my mind very quickly.
Oh, how long does it take to answer a question? Fucking hell.
Fuck's sake, John.
Everton.
This is what, John, do you know something? This is why you want to make a good manager, because you're a diverer. You're a diverer. That's what you are.
Well, at least my players
But
would
this is a
like
problem,
me.
lads. This is a problem. You can't name a third team, can you?
My players would like me, yeah?
John, the answer, the third team going down is fucking Leeds. It's Leeds.
I know.
Come on. Southampton, Bournemouth, Leeds. It's 3 teams. That's 3 teams. That's all you need. 3 teams.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Anyway, my answer. Now you're telling me what my answer should be.
Right.
It should have been your answer, John.
Anyway, Gary, we're gonna because it is a Sunday night. We're gonna try and keep keep these as short as we can tonight. So thank you very much, Gary.
All right, lads. Great show. Keep it going.
Cheers, mate.
See you
Thank
later.
you.
Take care,
Bye.
mate.
Bye. Bye.
There you go. That was good. 12 minutes.
You in fucking
12 minutes
charge,
from Womford.
Fucking in charge because you
There you
manage.
go. Womford knows.
You manage a
Womford
kids
knows.
team. Because you manage a kids team who are scared
put
of
you
you.
on-
Under
He put you on
14s,
boot
mate.
cleaning,
Under
John.
14s. They're like young men now.
Oh, you like young? You manage young men. You rub Vaseline on them, do you? That's another story. Sorry.
Right, let's put the
Keep
number
it
up
that
anyway.
way.
Sorry, I better put the number up. Go on, go through some comments anyway if there is any, John.
Everton will stay up.
Claim
now
your
they've
boats,
got
John.
Dyche.
Claim your boats, mate.
Yeah, I think Dyche is the best manager for them, but I just, mate, if he keeps them up after the way they've been, okay now. Now look, Freshfielder says Forest will get sucked back in. Eastside said Leeds. Oh, I wanted to go back to this comment here from Eastside. Eastside reckons that his missus spoke to Aguirre and apparently he's okay. Now I don't know if Eastside is making it up or he is our new ITK. I'm not sure. But,
Eastside spoke to Aguirre.
Eastside's missus. He said my missus spoke to Aguirre.
Okay.
Gary will
Fair enough.
Gary will
We shall
call up
see.
again. Gary will call up again with a fake account. Do you know what they nicknamed him in the chat? Columbo, because he goes, one more thing, just one more thing. What's this one?
He does make some good points, though. He does make some good
He
points.
does. He's a
Oh
good
no, he
caller.
does.
He's
He
a good
does.
caller.
But
Yeah.
He don't answer. He don't let me answer a question. Everyone's shouting at me. Calm down, everybody.
Karen, your horrible callers. Call in.
It was a very basic question, though, John, and you were struggling, so we were just trying to help
Because
you.
it is a struggle at the minute. Look how close it is down there. It's a minefield down there. All right, lads. Sorry I'm late. Hope you've all had a cool and breezy weekend. Yeah, I've had a cool and breezy weekend.
Hell yeah.
Right, come on, people, phone in. Come on, you was all complaining.
Yeah, exactly. Do you take calls from other countries? Yes.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
I bet it ain't. It ain't. Who is it? Is it someone you recognise?
I don't. No. It's a new number. Hello there. It's Nick. Who's this?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. There's a lot of rustling going on.
Are you having a packet of crisps?
Yeah, I think. No. I'm in my room.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to talk. Yeah. But Tottenham, who would you start? Tottenham.
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 What's your name first before we get started?
Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Hello, Charlie. How are you,
You're
mate?
right, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah.
So Tottenham. I'll tell you what. We go to Gary. Who would you start? Let's take it for granted that Paqueta and Aguero are out.
No, well, yeah. Yes. Right. Okay. I would go 3-5-2, as I've said already. 3-5-2 against Tottenham, as long as Scamacca's fit. I would love to see us go for Tottenham, and if we sit down, we're going to get beat by
Charlie, did you say what you want Gary to, or what do you think Moyes is going to do?
Yeah, what do you think, Moyes?
What do you think?
No, same again. Same again.
Same again.
Well, it can't be same again.
No, it'll be same formation again. The same players that finished the game. Apart from a few, obviously, but it'll be Paqueta will be swapped out with Souček. Yeah. Johnson will be swapped out. Aguero will be swapped out for Johnson. So it'll be exactly the same setup. I think maybe
Johnson, who's centre back?
Yeah, Johnson played the left-hand side of centre back for Aguero when he came off yesterday.
He did well. He did well.
But yeah, Moyes doesn't change. I think there's one thing we've learned amongst many things that we've learned from Moyes. He doesn't change.
Yeah, Moyes. I don't think he'll be there next season.
No, he won't be.
Hopefully not.
Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes crossed.
Hopefully not. But anyway, Charlie, what are your feelings on the season so far, mate? How do you feel like it's going? I'll tell you what. I think
we'll stay up.
You think we'll stay up?
Yeah, I think we'll get 15th, or I think Leeds will go down. To be fair,
they still haven't replaced what's his name, have they?
They got no idea who they
yeah.
want. They got no idea who they want. Have you seen that Southampton have been linked with Jesse Marsh?
Have they? Oh no, really?
That's mad.
We've got an adult dating chat.
Oh no.
Anyone want to do a bit of adult dating? Now's your time.
Have
Not for me though.
I'll tell you what. There's been a few people saying that you're Gary from Womford in disguise, Charlie. Can you do me a favour? Can you just pronounce Womford for me?
Womford.
Oh, no,
that's not Gary.
It's not Gary.
He pronounces it right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Right. But
how do you think the season's going?
Well,
Nick's been happy with it all season.
I'll tell you, John, let John answer it. John's happier than me.
The season's not gone as we planned, is it? But we have had some terrible injuries, especially in defence. But like I always say, everything that happens at that club all comes from the top. Because if the people who own the club didn't want any of it to happen, they could have put a stop to it all time, like months ago, weeks ago, whenever.
Moyes should have gone when we had break. Moyes should have went
100%.
I'm not even just talking about Moyes. I'm talking about the supposed getting rid of all the youth players. If the board didn't want that to happen, they could have stopped it. All of these things are paramount from the man at the top, which fortunately in a minute is David Sullivan. And it's all short term. It's all short-sightedness. That's all it is. It's all pure short-sightedness. I was thinking the other day, I bet they were quite pissed off that Moyes had the run and the success he had, because it meant they had to spend a bit of money to just try and show a little bit more support, in my opinion.
Yeah, they got back in, but to be fair, I don't think they've backed him enough.
Well, they have spent money. They have spent a lot of money.
We
have spent money.
Yeah, but I don't think on the right players, Danny's injury prone. I don't think he's the right player.
Yeah, but if you look at Brighton, they don't go out and spend anyone and they very rarely spend double figures on a player. So we're obviously
look at they run well. Look how much they're selling players for.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean, Charlie. It's run from the club is run well. When the club isn't run well, you do these not panic buy-ins, because Scamacca and Paqueta are good players. But
how much do you think we'll get for Rice? How much
for
Rice? 100 mil.
I think we're going to do more. I reckon it's going to be 120 to 150. I think there's going to be a bidding war for him. I do
British
believe
record. British record.
I do believe it.
Where do you think he'll go? Man United or Chelsea?
Arsenal. I think he'll go Arsenal.
No, I don't think Arsenal will be able to afford him, to be honest.
If they win the league,
No, they're not going to win the league. They're not going to win the league. Look,
Gary, they spent 90 million on Pepe.
Nick, look at the fixtures,
2-3
right?
years ago
Look at the fixtures. I'll tell you what, the league title.
They paid
is
over.
be decided
I don't think they
this
paid
week.
that up front, though.
Yeah.
The title will be decided this week. Arsenal are playing Man City later in the week. There's 3 points between them at the moment. It could bring it back level. And if you look at the run-ins, Arsenal have got a very slightly tougher run-in than City, and they've got to play each other again later on in the season. So
I think City will win the league. To be fair, City will win it.
I think City will win it. I think City will win it.
Did you see that the Referees Association, is it called PGMOL or something?
PGMOL, yeah.
They've actually come out today and apologised to Arsenal because they realised that their second goal yesterday should not have been. Was it the goal should have been chalked off? The Brentford
it was offside.
Goal. The Brentford goal should have been chalked off. Apparently, the VAR man forgot to draw the lines in the right place or something.
Yeah, no. Have you not seen it? They drew the line along the wrong defender. There was another defender. And they drew the line in the wrong place. It was so bad.
That cost them the league. That could cost them the league.
I know.
They'd taken so much time. The VAR ref had taken so much time over looking into the wrong defender that when it appeared that they had to look into the right defender, they rushed the decision and got it all wrong. It's bad.
And they apologised. That's right. Look, just George said it as well in the chat. They had to apologise to Brighton as well.
Yeah,
something happened in their game. I didn't watch Match of the Day.
Would you feel bad for Arsenal, John, if that resulted in there?
No, I fucking hate Arsenal. You know I do. I hate Arsenal because my family are all Arsenal. But I think Rice will go. I think Rice will go Arsenal because if you look at the managers now, Arteta. Look, as much as it pains me to say, he's building something at Arsenal. He has an ideology.
I think he improves players as well. He improves.
Yeah, he improves players. He likes young players.
He's a good manager. He's learned a lot of Pep, I think.
It might be a bidding war. It might be a bidding war. And if it is a bidding war, and I'll tell you why it might be a bidding war, is because Declan Rice's agents are his brother and his dad, right? So they are getting weighed out properly in this deal. So the bigger the deal, the better. That will set them up for life as well as setting Declan Rice up for life. So
do you think we'll invest in a lot of money? Right? Like, do you think we'll spend the money what we get for us?
Well, hopefully a new manager will be able to spend.
Depends if we're in the league or not, doesn't it? In the Premier League, that's the thing. We've got to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Charlie, did you go over there much, mate?
No, I didn't go over there a lot. Chelsea, no.
No.
I've been over there a few times this season. Been terrible, I think.
It's not been good. It's not been good this year, mate. It hasn't.
No.
It's a good point.
Football's been shit.
Just quickly, this is a good point. I said this as well. I think the money for Rice has already been spent last summer. I think that's true.
I don't think so. You know, I don't think so.
I'll do a little bit.
I don't think so. I think maybe some of it, but we didn't spend anything hardly at all. We spent a small amount last summer. We spent nothing last January. We had that money set aside.
You can't replace for us, though. I don't think you can't replace for us. So.
No, you can't. But look, we've great players have left us before, and we've survived. Right, the club's bigger than one player in it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I hope Rice goes and wins things. To be fair, he's not going to win that field.
I hope so. I just hope he loses every time he comes down to West Ham, obviously. But other than that, I hope he has a great career. I'd like to see him go somewhere like Real Madrid, like where we're never going to see him.
There you go. See, John, Nick improves players. Look at that free kick. See?
He doesn't improve players because before his player had even took it, he was basically saying he was going to miss because he was saying get the rebound. So he had no faith in him. Yes, you did. You had no faith in him. You had no faith in him.
Listen, you got to pick up the scraps. You've got to gamble. You got to gamble. That's what you got to tell them. You know.
I've got to gamble. Improves false life. Higher or low, I've got to gamble.
Right, but Leonardo, just 1 minute, mate. Right, so I've been trying to figure out how to call you without getting charged. Listen, all you got to do, mate, if you don't want to phone on the phone, just add that number as a contact. Call us on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Genius. You are a school wizard.
Okay.
Use the wonders of TCP/IP.
Not you, Charlie, because you're in England.
You're in England, yeah. This is from Leonardo in the US.
Charlie said okay as if he's got to do
Sorry, I didn't know you were talking to.
Sorry, mate. But anyway, mate. Last point, because we're trying to cap these. My glasses are so wonky. Why are they wonky?
Yeah.
Are they?
The head's too big for him.
Is that better? So yes, last point, mate, and then we'll close the call because John's limited me to 10 minutes. He thinks he's yeah. So
yeah.
What was so? What do you think, mate? In terms of I'll tell you what. Let's talk about Tottenham. Give us your prediction for the Tottenham game before we close the call.
I think we'll win. I think we'll beat Tottenham.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
Love
I think we'll beat Tottenham because the way Tottenham play. I think if we start quick, we have to start quick. I think. Start fast. I think we get out and we can go and beat Tottenham. I think the first goal will be important if we get it. If we get the first goal.
It's the main game on Sky next Sunday, isn't it? It's the 4:30 kickoff next Sunday. So looking forward to that.
I really hope we win. I do.
I think we have to win. Really.
You know you can't
predict.
Right,
anyway,
else.
Charlie, I think Leonardo's trying to call now. Charlie, thanks for your call, mate. That was really good. Thanks very much,
Charlie.
mate.
See you later.
There we go. Right, 1 minute. Hello there. Is that Leonardo?
Hello.
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm very well. Is this Leonardo?
Yes, from the United States. Yes, I live off near Washington, D.C.
USA.
Another US supporter. There we go. There you go. Yeah. So you're sat near Washington.
Yeah, right. Like 15 minutes away. I actually have a buddy from. He's a college buddy.
Which
from,
Washington? Which Washington? California or DC?
DC, the capital.
DC. Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. What would you like to talk about, Leonardo?
I just think that a lot of people are, I think the 1-1 result for Chelsea wasn't a horrible result. I think people need to look back and think about how. I think if you offered us 1-1 at the beginning of the game, I think we would have taken it.
Absolutely.
And I was talking to some Chelsea supporters because I'm on the university soccer team.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of crap for being a West Ham fan, but I don't care. The reason why was Dimitri Payet.
Yeah. Oh, it was Payet. Yeah. It was Payet. So it was that season. That was a 15-16 season. It got you, was it?
Yeah. After that, I bought a shirt and a jersey, and it was, I don't know, I've just been watching them ever since. It's been a good time.
It's been great. It's been great ever since then, isn't it? Ever since that season.
Yeah.
The last season was good, and the season before.
Yeah. I know.
Relatively young fan, but it's really good that I found like a couple YouTube channels about some fan channels, you guys and Hammers Chat. It's been really nice. Yeah.
Who? What chat?
It's good to hear from you anyway. So
he's doing.
So have you been over here yet, Leo? You've been over to the UK?
No, actually, I'm looking to study abroad there next spring.
Okay.
So hopefully I can
brilliant.
catch a couple of games. Yeah, that'll be like a dream. But my brother's.
When you arrive in Heathrow, give me a call. Yeah, call me. I'll pick you up.
Yeah, he won't give you a discount because he's a tight fucker.
No, I didn't say anything about discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick him up.
Washing machine, they tell you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What did he say?
So, he's talking about your washing machine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's watched that. Is he?
Yeah. But Leonardo, where do you play anyway? Where do you play? You said you play for the college football team. What?
He's trying to tap him up for next season.
Yeah. Just wondering what position you play. You know, just.
I played midfield all my life.
Yeah.
I was an attacking midfielder, but then as I got older, I don't know how, but I got slower, and so I've been.
It happens.
Opposite for me. That was the opposite for me.
It happens. I mean, John got slower from the age of about 12.
I move like a leopard.
Now I play the center defensive mid position, CDM or a box to box.
You're the Declan Rice of your team. But
how old are you?
I'm 20. Yeah, I'm 20.
How old?
He's 20.
You're talking about it like he's an old man. He's going, "Oh, when I was younger and all that."
Yeah.
Well, he's 20 years of age, mate.
He's 20. He's at his prime. Is it his prime?
Yeah, but Gary, you're free time his age, ain't you?
Can you do me a favour though, Leonardo? Listen. What we will say, because is football. I know you call it soccer. Is that your main game?
Yeah, that's been playing it since I was 5 years old. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got to fly. You got to fly the flag. It's not soccer. It's football, right?
All right.
Tell all your mates that you don't play soccer. You play football, and tell all the ones that play football. They, American football. It's rugby for girls because they wear helmets and knee pads. All right.
Yeah.
So that's
actually, my nationality is from Peru, from South America, and most.
There you go. Yeah.
Spanish football. No, soccer. It's football.
It's all football. So look, listen, Leonardo, you sound quite a positive fan. You think we're going to stay up, yeah?
I'm sorry, repeat that. It cut off accidentally.
Sorry, mate. You sound like quite a positive fan. So I'm assuming that you think we're going to stay up this season. You don't see any issues.
I think there will be issues. Injuries. I don't think it was smart sending Craig Dawson out and not getting cover. I think it was the right go for but I think the injuries that care, even though we have Johnson, I think he played really good yesterday. He didn't do anything wrong.
He did.
I agree with you guys that. And left center back or right center back, he's comfortable with both feet, but going forward, that's where he hurts us. But I think if we just get one more injury of Augie or Aguerd gets hurt, I think we go to the 4-back, and that just hurts us. That just hurts our style because we've been getting results from 5-back formations or 3 or 5-back formations, however you guys.
Did you know this, Leo? Did you know this? There's a Peru connection with West Ham because
I actually did. Yes,
you knew that already. You knew that Solano played for us.
Yeah. I've been. So my grandpa actually, he played a little soccer in in Peru.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about like old soccer players and from Peru, and I know Cubillas. I don't know if you guys know him. He was like one of the best soccer players in South America. Not that many people know about him, but he got some Brazilian flair about him as a Peruvian, and Peruvians are just known to be as technical. So
Nobby Solano, Norberto Solano.
He was a nice guy, Solano. I've got a picture of my son Ross with Solano because we went behind the scenes at West Ham into the changing rooms and stuff like that once. And he wasn't playing; he was outside, very smartly dressed. I think he was injured at the time, but nice bloke, very white teeth.
Right, whoever that is, I will give you a call back. I'm gonna have another tantrum. Right, 1 minute. I'll give you a call back when this call's finished. Need a fucking switchboard.
Just before you go, Leonardo, it's a question we're asking everyone tonight. Which of us three would you have as manager of West Ham United?
Careful, Leo.
You can be honest. Don't worry.
No,
I think it might be Gary actually.
That's a great choice.
It's a great choice.
Experience. I've got the grey hair to prove it. Experience.
No longevity.
Been there, seen it, done it. Doesn't panic. Just level.
Yes,
Don't go up and down like Nick. Drives people mad. Good choice, Leo.
Listen, I think I've got the passion. I've got the passion. Who do you bring in? Like, listen, Leo. What I'm saying is, right? There's 10 games left in the season. You've got to win 6 games, or you're going down. Who are you going to employ then? Me, Gary, or John? You need You've got the team are on their asses. They're on their asses. They need a lift. Who are you bringing in?
I think it's got to be you, Nick.
There you go. See.
Oh, he just absolutely.
He's basically talked you into saying that.
Why have you, Leo? You've really ruined yourself tonight, mate. You came on here all positive, right? The thing is, imagine we may not win any games with me in charge, but what a fucking laugh we'd have. Yeah, what a laugh.
Yeah, everyone would be loving your post-match press conferences, making jokes when we're fucking down the bottom of the league, John.
It'd be the funniest relegation ever, wouldn't it, John?
Oh God.
But anyway,
we'll have with John.
Sorry, mate.
we'll have a good time in the championship if we ever do. I'd get John.
Yeah, he's a lower level
he's a
lower
lower
level
league
manager.
manager.
He's a lower level manager.
Get him off the line. He's called me a championship manager. Get him off the line. Get him off. Go on. Get him out of here.
But anyway, yeah. Look, Trod just said there. Nicky's virtually a live hypnotist. I am. See, I've got the skills. That's why you'd want me in charge. Think what I could do with footballers, simple creatures. Right. Okay. Anyway, Leo. Thanks very much for the call, mate. I've got somebody that was phoning me relentlessly a minute ago, so I'm going to give him a call back.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Leo.
But that's it. Thank you for helping me out. Yeah.
No worries. I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers for the call.
Yeah, Leo.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Don't ever let him on again with a comment
Cheers,
like
mate.
that. I'm telling you now, if he comes on again, fucking put me in the championship me off.
Fucking, but you're a boot cleaner and you're a championship manager.
Fucking nonsense. Big tack. You get abused, really, don't you? Championship me off.
Hello there. Hello there. It's Nick from Claret and Booze. Sorry I missed your call, mate. We were just on another one with Leo. What's your name? And where you from? Where you calling from?
It's Ray.
Hello, Ray.
Ray, turn your
Right. Turn it down in the background, mate, because we're getting a bit of echo. If that's okay.
Hang on, mate.
Cheers.
Yeah, hello there.
How we doing, Ray? So, where are you from, mate? Whereabouts do you live?
I'm in Devon at the moment, but I used to live in East Ham.
Very nice. Nice
Used
part
to
of the
live in
world.
East Ham.
Cream or jam first? Cream or jam first?
Neither.
Don't like him. Don't like cream. Don't like
Play the
cream.
game, Ray, for God's sake. Christ almighty.
I've never had a Devon cream tea since I've been here.
Have you not? Why is that? You don't like
No.
clotted cream? I love the clotted cream.
No, my arteries don't
can
like
tell.
it, I don't think.
Your arteries don't like it.
I just got, if you don't mind, just got a quick question for Gary.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did you start going to West Ham, Gary?
It was.
What year?
I traced this back, right? I'm sure that the first game I went to was at the Valley, Charlton, the old Valley, like when it was massive.
No, sorry, mate, Upton Park.
Oh, Upton Park. It must have been 77.
Oh no, it weren't you then.
Yeah, 76 was my first game, I reckon, from memory.
Oh yeah, no, it weren't you because I was going in the '60s and I worked there. And I
worked
thought
there?
you was the guy
What did you do there?
I love.
Well, you probably won't remember, but they used to stick us in white coats.
Yeah.
And you know, like the ushers in the, you know, like an usher in the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a tray and a white coat on.
Yeah.
And you came out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And you sold peanuts.
Peanuts.
Oh,
I remember that geezer.
So you was known as Ray with a tray.
yeah, Ray with a tray. Yeah,
That's it, yeah.
yeah. And you had to walk. You came out the tunnel, and you either got very close to the south bank or the north bank if you made it.
Where did you do it? So I remember when I was in the North Bank. This is in the 80s, right? In the North Bank, there used to be a bloke going through the crowd saying peanuts, and then throwing peanuts at people, like
Yeah, I remember
throwing
that.
their money back in.
But you had to do this with like from pitch side. You know,
you had to do it
did
from pitch side. Oh right. Oh okay.
Oh, blimey.
And you threw a bag of peanuts, but half the time you never got the money for them.
Thieving cockneys.
Don't sound like good business. Don't sound like good
Crafty
business.
cockneys. Crafty cockneys.
Yeah. But on a serious note, over the years, because obviously I'm an old geezer.
Yeah.
What you're not taking into account is at the moment we've got 4 teams below us.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So if we was to draw every game that we got left, we'd be on 36 points.
Yeah.
Now, do you think we'd go down with 36 points? I'm sure we wouldn't.
I didn't.
Do you reckon 36 would keep us up?
I didn't think 30. I thought it was going to be far less than 40. But the way the teams around us are now starting to pick up points and win, I think you've got to be aiming for 40 points this season. Now I do.
You want to aim for 40, but I agree with Ray. I think it's going to be a bit less this year. because I think everyone's beating everyone. I think it's one of them seasons down there.
I agree, but you got to aim for 40, haven't you?
You've got to aim
You've
for
always got to
40.
aim for the magic 40.
It's a risk, isn't it? Because you remember we stayed up on 34, I think, with Zola.
We went down on 42 once,
but
didn't we?
But Nick, we got relegated for 42 points when there was more teams in the league. There was 22 in the league.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right?
But I mean, any given week, if you look at the teams below you, there's 4 teams below us. Now, next week, you got Wolves v Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Right? You've got Forest v Man City.
Yeah.
You've got Everton and Leeds, and you've got Chelsea and Southampton.
Yeah.
So, any given week, even if you go up a couple of places, all them teams below you are playing each other or playing someone up the top.
Yeah, of course.
So, we're looking at it as a given fact that we're not going to get many points, and everybody else is going to get 1 or 3 points every week, and they're not.
No. But what we're saying is, I think you're right. You're 100% right. You can't look at the teams. The teams that are down the bottom are down there for a reason. They're not going to win every game. They're not going to.
No.
Same as we are not. You know, we've won 1 game in 5, and I think we've proved that if you look back from the start of the restart since we faced Arsenal, how many points was we above relegation when we faced Arsenal? Now, basically, our form has lifted, and we're in the same place, really, in terms of gap between where we are now, and we haven't moved away from it. We're still in the same threatening position, if not more threatening, because now there's less games. That's how I see it. But you are right, though. You are right. You know the way that.
But for every win that we get, and I think I heard you say you probably think we'll get 5. So for every 3 points we get, that allows us to have 2 or 3 draws.
That's right. I mean, I think so what do we need then? So if you look at it like that, what's that? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So 7 wins. So it could be 5 wins and a few draws, yeah.
So if you go along with what Moyes is doing, setting us up not to lose and to get a draw.
Yeah.
If, like I said, you can draw quite a few games, and you only need to go up a couple of places. And then you've got 5 teams below you who are all going to be playing each other, or all going to be playing someone good.
Here, Ray, I'm going to do something. Carry on talking to Ray. Nigel Kahn has sent me a picture of it. He thinks this is you. So I'm going to upload this now. I'm going to try and upload it. So carry on talking, mate.
There's been some great comments in here as well, Ray, about
people recognise you.
Sellers. There's been loads of. One bloke accused you of hitting him in the eye with a bag of peanuts back in the 60s, right?
No, that wasn't me. That was Percy Larkin.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Percy saw his bad shot, Percy.
Percy had a terrible shot. Percy had a terrible shot. Didn't he? I remember old Percy. One of the worst strikers we ever had. Did you shout out peanuts then as well, Ray?
Yeah. Must have been.
No, I mean, it was if you can imagine it, I stood in the tunnel with Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, Martin Peters, and plus the away team as well.
Yeah.
Because, we were lining up the same time as the team were lining up.
That's brilliant.
To come out.
That's superb.
Right, Ray. Ray, can you? I know you can't hear the stream now because you turned it down, but can you see it? Can you see?
I can see it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Here we go. Is this you?
I can't see anything. Well,
I'll put it up. Put it up.
Bloody hell. It's Alf Garnett.
It's Alf Garnett.
He might have a bit of delay.
It was like that.
Yeah. Was that? Go back to that picture a minute. Go back to that picture a minute, because that's the old. So that wall was like that in the old West Stand when you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Because when I first went there, that wall was higher.
Yeah, it was like that.
What's that the kids holding? What's that the kids holding down the bottom? Is that a rattle? Did they have rattles?
Rattle, yes, a rattle.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Rattles, yeah. Yeah. And I remember the day when Warren Mitchell was there. He was in the tunnel with us.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he effing and blind you. Yeah, effing and blind you was.
Ray, a lot of people are asking who you thought Gary was. Do you think he owes you money for them peanuts?
I think he does. I think he does. I think he's well, down after all these years.
I was just looking at him and I thought, well,
He looks
you know,
well
I'm
old.
69.
Yeah.
I'm 69, so there's a good chance he could be sort of 71. But
Don't hold back, Ray. Don't hold back, mate. That's it.
71.
That's it.
no, I'm only joking, Gal. I'm
About,
only
six,
joking.
about, six,
Yeah,
about
I know.
68. About 68, yeah.
He's been 71 off.
Ah, fucking even 71 off.
Gary's dying
No,
inside
I'll
at the
tell you
moment.
what,
He is.
just have faith, lads. We'll finish 10th, believe me.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know
I
what?
think that's
I
very
hope
optimistic,
so.
Ray.
Ray,
I'd love it.
I
I'd love
do
it
hope
if
so.
that
I know I'm a miserable git and I'm negative, but I do hope so. I don't want us to fail. I don't want us to get relegated.
Oh, I know-
that's why
I know
that's why I
that,
panic.
Nick.
That's why I panic so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that, Nick. But I mean, you're lucky me missus ain't here. I have to turn it off. She says I can't stand. She says I can't stand that bloke down the bottom with glasses. Is he miserable? Is he really
he is
a West Ham
miserable, yeah.
supporter? And I'm
He is
saying, well,
miserable.
I don't
What she
know.
said,
He's
what she
bloody
said about me,
miserable.
Ray? You say I'm good looking, Ray.
Oh, John.
Joe, please tell him he's good looking. He needs it.
She said I'm a good looking taxi driver, does she?
She thinks John's a sensible one.
Yeah? Fucking hell.
Sensible.
Oh.
Do you know what John is? John is, if John was a Premier League team, he'd be Fulham. He's the one that everyone likes.
Yeah, he would be.
Everyone likes him. He would be. Yeah. John's
No,
Fulham.
well, the other week she thought he was on Thunderbird because it was Virgil John, wasn't it?
Christ almighty.
Listen, we know when you do this sort of thing, you can't please everyone. You can't.
No.
You can't.
Well, that's all right because you please no one.
No, but the thing that gets me, I hear all the chat shows, right? You included, you lot included. I'll support West Ham if we're in the Conference League.
Yeah, so would I. But
Yeah,
I would. Yeah.
I would.
And now you're all
of course.
worried about being the Man United of the Championship League, the Championship next year.
No, exactly. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I had to think about it. I'll tell you what, Nigel was on here and he said, I'll win a cup and get relegated. That's fine. And I said, don't be so stupid, right? And then I thought about it over about the next week. And I thought, well, look, we've been relegated so many times since I've been going over there. It hardly makes a difference. In fact, it's quite good fun sometimes to play in the Championship, you know? We are the giants of the Championship.
Yeah, because if you go down, you're always going to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're always going to be playing for at least a playoff place.
Of course you are. Yeah.
I'm breaking a 10-minute rule with you, Ray, because you're an interesting bloke.
You're a very popular caller, Ray.
You're a popular caller. So what I would like to ask you is, how did you feel about the move from Upton Park, and how do you feel now? Looking at the whole situation, what's your feelings towards it all?
Well, to be honest with you, obviously I'd moved to Devon in 2003.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a season ticket for the East Stand.
Yeah.
That I remember when it was a chicken run, actually. But I remember them days. But I had a season ticket for there, so I wasn't part of that. You know, because it happened. What year did that happen when we moved? Was it
16?
2016,
yeah.
So I'd been gone, like, you know, so
Yeah, but you're still a West Ham
I wasn't
fan,
traveling.
Have you been back?
Yeah,
You've been back to the London Stadium?
No.
It's
just, if I look at it, it's too difficult because, I mean, I lived in Stratford before East Ham, you know, when I was a kid. So when I look at the distance you have to go from Stratford Station, and when you get to my age, mate, the walking ain't all that good. And when I look at the length you've got to walk, you know, to get to the London Stadium.
It's a long way. It's a long way.
Couple of questions for you in the chat, Ray. Couple of questions for you. Someone's asked, did you go to the 1923 Whitehall's final?
I did in my mind because my stepdad went to that, and he used to tell me. He told me the story of the White Horse.
Yeah,
the White Horse. You know.
Did he have a ticket, or did he climb over the wall?
I don't think you needed a ticket in them days. You climbed over the wall.
Oh, right.
And you got crushed. You got crushed.
And one other thing.
But don't worry.
You're getting a lot of love in there. So someone
Oh, mate,
said,
yeah, you are. You're getting a lot of love in the chat, mate. You
Someone
really
said
are.
you're the best. You're the best caller we've had since we started taking calls.
Yeah, that's
Bloody hell,
English.
mate.
English from English Yardy. He's
English
so,
Yardy.
yeah. That's really, really, really good call, mate. Really good call. But anyway, I'll tell you what, we'll finish it off because I've got two other impatient missed calls that have called to us. I've got to call back. So moving on to Tottenham at the weekend, I'll ask you two questions. How do you think we're going to get on against Spurs?
I think we'll win 1-0. And I think if you do the team, you play Downs and Rice. And to be honest with you, I'll be blooming glad when he goes.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, Rice. Because if you look at it, he's playing the same way as Noble, as you've mentioned. He'll get the ball, go sideways. Souček as well. And what did Noble do when he played? He went 2 steps forward, turned round in a circle, and went sideways. And everything has to go through Rice at the moment. So once he's gone,
but that's
it'll
not
be
Rice's
more of a
fault.
team.
But that's not Rice's fault.
But it's his
To me,
fault.
that shows that the other players are living in fear, that they don't want to take responsibility.
Do you not think that that's changed a little bit, Ray? So say, for instance, that was the case, and I agree with you because look, as a central defensive midfielder, your job is to kind of retain the ball, win the ball, retain the ball, so they don't pull out worldy passes. Even though Rice does, he does spray the ball about, but since Paquette has been in the team in that middle two, Rice has been holding. Rice has been holding.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. But when Moyes swapped round Souček and Rice, let Rice go further forward, he still gets so far and then pass sideways, and I think we'll be a much better team if we spend the money from him and we become more of a team with one star.
It's got to be spent wisely.
It's got to be. That's the thing. I think what you're saying is 100%. For instance, if you gave Brighton 100 million, they'd spend it well. The issue that we've got is, would we spend it well? This is historically we spend a lot of money. I mean, for instance, in the period that Moyes has been back for the second stint, which is the same length of time as Arteta, we've spent more than Arsenal in that period. We've spent more money.
But Rice is undroppable. He cannot drop Rice.
Yeah, but he should be. Yeah, but he's our best player.
He's our best player.
Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, I agree with you. It's got better since Paquetta's inside, but it looks like we're gonna lose him for quite a while with that injury.
Yeah. So
if you go back to Rice and Souček in there, it's going back to square one, isn't it? We'll be all right. We finished 10th, and be careful what you wish for, because if we get relegated, they'll probably keep Moyes in the job to bring us up.
Don't say that, please, Ray. Please don't say that to me. That's not good for my
No. I don't think that. I don't think that'll happen. I think the punishment for getting relegated, the punishment for getting relegated is sack.
But he's got credit in the bank.
No, not still. He can't have.
No, he's used all his credit up now, I reckon.
He can't have.
Oh, right, but so if you go down at the end of the season, who do you get to bring you up?
Well, but if you look at the Championship at the moment, they're not. Look, I categorise Moyes as a pragmatic manager, which is what he is. He's defence first. Now, you obviously you're watching football from an era where West Ham were expensive and they played good football. We played.
I'm watching it from.
No, but what I mean is
it from 1923.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
You can't tell me anything.
No, but that's what I'm. No, but this is what I'm saying to you. You was watching football in an area where West Ham have always been cutting edge and always played expressive ways. We've always tried to do that. We've always been that, everybody's second team type football, if you want. David Moyes isn't that person. It's defensive football. And if you look at the Championship now, teams are not getting promoted shithousing in their way through anymore. You don't need a Sam Allardyce to get relegated, to get promoted anymore. You don't need it.
If you look at the top 5 or 6 teams in the Championship, they're playing
good football.
Young. They're all
progressive
young
managers, young progressive managers.
They're all young and new.
Football's changed. Yeah, it has changed.
Well, but I'll just say, I know you got another caller, so I'll make one last point.
This is definitely Gary from Womford.
Whatever did we win league-wise or anything when we had Hurst, Moore and Peters?
Nothing.
Well,
Nothing.
no, we didn't win the
Nothing.
league. We didn't win the league, but we won a couple of cups, didn't we?
But for quality of football and entertainment, if you're not going to win anything, which West Ham have never done really, you know, we're not a successful club. If you're not going to win football, you at least need to be entertained. You've got to offer the fans something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So if it's so bad, why do these people keep going week after week?
Because
If I go to West,
I can't not go. Even if I thought it was
Honestly,
terrible,
I'd go and watch West Ham. I don't care. Underneath it all, I don't really care. I don't go to be entertained. I go because I love going to watch West Ham, and I watch them anywhere.
Yeah. You'd like to
That's
be
it.
entertained, obviously, but
Love to be entertained, but it's secondary, right? It's secondary.
And Ray, can I ask you something? All right, trying to take your rose tints off, because I can remember it for as long as I can. Before the internet, before everything else, West Ham fans have always been a miserable, grumpy bunch of bastards. You can go over to the stadium. We've always moaned. We've always complained. Nothing's ever changed. We've always been the same. We have. If you could hear it from the terraces. You know, it was a furnace. We was known with our own players. If our own players weren't given 100%, they used to get both barrels, didn't they?
Yeah, but it wasn't as toxic as it is with social media and chat shows like yours.
No, it's true.
Because the only information I got on West Ham was a New Ham recorder.
Or what you see with your eyes when you went to the game. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That's the only information you got all week.
So what's
the New Ham recorder?
So let me ask you, Ray, what's the answer to that? What's your so obviously you say it's not as toxic as it is now with the likes of channels like ours. So do you think?
No, I don't mean that. I'm talking about social media. All of it, you know.
I know, but the thing is, I don't think you see it's worse because it's in print. It's when you look. It's like take Twitter for example, which you might not even be on. Twitter's bad. Twitter's like the worst place in the world for criticism because they target people directly. Like they'll go. Someone like Declan Rice will have a Twitter account, and you'll have people tagging him. Insulting him directly, which is fucking wrong. That you should never ever do that. Yeah. But the thing is, you don't see or read anything on there that wasn't said down a pub that you used to go to after a game. I just think it's different now. I think people just moan in a different way.
I think you get pylons as well, right? I think you get pylons, especially on Twitter. You know, if they're the slightest little thing that can be interpreted the wrong way, and you get a mass of people just piling on a player, and they say things are just personal. They get personal at the drop of a hat, right? And there's no need for that. You can criticize someone's performance or how they've played without getting personal.
That's the bad thing. And I don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with criticizing the football. I think when it gets personal and you start really sort of trying to cut into someone as a person, then that's bad. But I think if you're criticising football, we're watching football. You're criticising football. I don't see there's anything wrong with that, really. To be quite honest, you know, you just see it.
I'm not on Twitter, so the worst that can happen to me,
it's bad on Twitter.
I'm not on.
It's bad.
Yeah, but I'm not on Twitter, so the worst that could happen to me is I wake up tomorrow and there's 100 pigeons in my garden, all slating me off with carrier pigeons with messages.
Yeah. I think did you send those carrier pigeons to the London Stadium the other day? Because there was quite a few on the pitch, weren't there?
There were loads there yesterday. There was about a dozen pigeons flying around the pitch.
It was a lot. But anyway, Ray, look, we're going to let you go, mate, because we've got a couple of other calls that we want to get in before we go to bed. Go on.
Just Ray, one word answer. You need a manager between.
Right, Ray, it's been a lovely call, mate. I'll speak to you after. It's been lovely talking to you. Go on, off he goes. Right.
You've just done that to Ray. That's 69.
I haven't. We've got to get another call on.
That is shocking behaviour. He's done well. He's done well to get on YouTube. That geezer.
He knew that you were pitching something.
100%. 100%. I had to bail out of that one. I weren't going to be able to hypnotise Ray. There is no way that was going to happen.
Who are you calling there? Who is it?
Hello there, mate. Sorry, we was on a call with Ray. So I'm just calling you back. What's your name, mate, and where are you from?
Who are you calling there?
I can't hear anything.
Hello, can you hear us? No.
So I'm just calling.
I can hear myself. I'll try again. I'll call you back.
My name's Mike. I'm originally from London, but I've been about two years ago.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Mike, can you do me a favour? Can you turn the TV off in the background? That's all right.
Turn the volume off.
I'll just turn it down. Just turn it down.
Turn the volume down.
What's his name? Mike.
Mike, yeah.
Mike, can you do me a favour? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, but I can't hear you guys through the phone. I can only hear you guys through the TV.
Oh, really?
Oh, you can't hear us?
I'll try and call you back. Give us a minute. I'll call you. Oh, well, you can't hear us. I'll call him back. Hang on.
Amateur hours back.
Hang on. 1 minute.
Fucking hell, useless.
Right, let's go. That was a long call, right? That was 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's been quite smooth tonight, apart from you. Gary, I've froze. Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, I'm back.
There we go. Right, Mike, can you hear us now?
Yeah, hello?
Can you hear us now?
No.
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 I'm not too sure what's going on there, mate, to be honest.
Mike, can you hear us now? Yeah, hello?
We can hear it.
No, and that's a shame,
I can, but I can only hear you guys through the TV. So what I'll do is I'll hang up. You take another call because it's not. Yeah,
Okay, mate.
Sorry about that.
No,
I can only hear you guys through. I can't hear you guys through the.
No worries, that's
He
fine.
definitely
That's fine,
picked me
mate.
as manager. I could tell
cheers,
he
mate.
definitely picked me as manager as well.
That's a
Fucking
shame.
That's a
fucking
shame.
annoying,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
No, we have to
Yeah.
get him on next time. You got his number. You'll have
I've
to
got his
you have
number.
So
Yeah.
do you need to reset your unit or something? Or
No, I don't think so.
No?
We'll find out with this next call.
Is
Hopefully
your
it's not doing the
phone
same
on
thing.
mute?
Is
Is
your
your
phone
phone
on
on
mute,
mute, Nick from Freshfielder?
probably is.
Is my phone on?
Probably
No,
is.
it's not. No,
Yeah, it probably is.
it's not.
Freshfielder knows your shit with technology, doesn't he?
It's not on mute.
Welcome to the Tesco mobile voicemail service.
Oh,
The
mobile.
I'll try once more.
He sent Ray to bed. He can't speak to Mike, and now he's ringing the voicemail. I'm gonna useless.
Welcome to the
Right,
Tesco.
no, that's no good. Right, okay, we'll put the number up. If anyone does want to phone in, because I think it works better when people phone in, then we'll take another call. John, do you want to go through some comments just while we're waiting? Wait another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think this must be Michael Hughes on the phone too. He's made the comment.
There we go.
Nigel
Nigel's calling.
Ah,
Nigel who?
Hello, Nigel. Hello, Nigel.
your box needs resetting, doesn't it?
This is a fucking joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why has that happened then?
Well, I don't know, but you
I'll call you back, Nigel. Nigel, I'll call you back. 1 minute. All right, let me just unpair.
Sorry, we're having a technology break. Give us a second.
We'd like to apologise for Nick's,
Mike, it wasn't you. It was
Weren't
us.
you?
No, it wasn't you.
Hang on.
So,
I thought Nigel was sending a proper picture of. I thought Nigel was actually sending a picture of who he thought was Ray. Do you know that picture of Alf Garnett?
Yeah.
Nigel's memory is good, but it ain't that good. I like the fact that Ray thought that Gary was about 70 odd.
I love that. I'll tell you what, I found that quite funny when you said you've been 71 off. You've been 71 off. Fuck you, Tata.
Hello, Nigel.
All right.
Can you hear us?
Nigel.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
can you hear you?
Oh, good. Nigel, you going to bed yet? Only reason being, because there's one more call, a 10-minute call. Can you wait 10 minutes? I want to see if I can phone one more caller back.
Well, that's out of order.
Yeah, go on.
Go on, cheers, mate.
That is out
Go
of
on.
order.
Cheers.
Nigel,
Nigel, we know.
You're going to try and call Mike back again?
Yeah, I'm going to try and call Mike
try
back.
and get Mike on.
Right.
Turn the telly down, Mike. Turn the telly down, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Oh wait, I can hear you guys now.
There you go.
Yes.
Perfect. There you
Yes.
go. It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my fault.
Oh, typical, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
Useless, mate. Useless.
Struggle with him.
Oh no, that was a relief. I thought, like every other call was going good, and there I am having the tech issues, and I work at a company that I deal with tech issues, and I couldn't even deal with it. So.
Oh no, I know.
Typical,
It was my fault, mate. It was my fault.
Turn it off and turn it on again. Turn it off and turn it on again.
It always works.
Yeah.
Always works.
I say that like 20 times a day, no joke.
You get paid a fortune for it, bloody button pusher.
Yeah, but we keep that on hush. Maybe not as much as you and them washing machines, but that's a discussion for a
God's
day.
sake.
But anyway, Mike, what would you like to talk about, mate?
Two things. I wanted to talk about what's happened to Bowen, and then also who should step in for Paqueta. So, so Bowen, in my opinion, would have been my hammer of the year, just because when Antonio's goals dried up, he really stepped in where it mattered, and he was just banging in goals for fun. He always looked like a threat, like he was beating his man.
Yeah.
And then the summer break happened. I know he came back overweight. I know Moyes won't admit it, but I've heard from him, because he mentioned in a couple press interviews, one player came back overweight. So I'm assuming that was Bowen, because he's looking a bit like a plumber now.
He was.
It was, isn't it? Yeah, and he's not the same player that he was last year. Like, he looks shy in front of goal. He's not taking on his players, and I don't know if it's something that's happened to him as a player, or Moyes has given him like a different set of tactics for this year. Because you know what Moyes is like, he sees a player that's playing good attacking football, and he'll defense first. But I just don't know what's happened to him, because he would have been my hammer of the year above Rice last year, because Rice was in a man of the match performance every single game he's in. But I think Bowen's involvement last season was more important.
But I think with Rice is always going to be in the game, because he's kind of in the middle of the park. He's a central defensive shield. I think with the likes of Antonio and Bowen and Benny, I think if the team are not playing well, we're not playing in a progressive way. And as you've said, you don't know what they're being tasked with now. It might be the case that we see Bowen tracking back an awful lot more now than I think we did last year. I think his role changed. We was a bit more expressive last year when Bowen was on fire. I think he was, and there's also maybe, do you reckon there could be an argument, John, that maybe the opposition are giving him a little bit more attention now, maybe marking him a bit tighter?
Well, when Bowen, he recently did an interview, can't remember what it was in or what it was, but he did an interview where he said that the pressure of getting called up for England, and then the disappointment about not making it to World Cup squad, apparently all that pressure of getting into the England squad, he said it really affected him. He said he felt like he was putting too much pressure on himself. He felt like he was becoming too self-critical, too conscious of what everyone was thinking and looking about him. And he put a loss of his form down to that. I think this interview happened, it might have happened after the Everton win, when he scored the 2 goals, and we all sort of thought, oh, he's back.
Yeah. I have a theory about that. I know my name's Mike Theory, but I genuinely do have a theory about that. So I reckon at the start
is your name
season,
Mike Theory?
Yeah, that's not my actual name. I make music, but yeah, Mike has a theory. So at the start of the season, I reckon he played every game for us safe so that he wouldn't be injured, so that he could get into the World Cup squad. Because
possibly
that is very possible. That is very, very possible.
That's also a big risk. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about this on Twitter or any fan channels, but if you go back and what he plays every single thing he did on the ball safe, because he was scared to get injured. You saw what happened to Reece James and Kyle Walker, and he's probably looking at that thinking oh, can't be me, because he just got his call up, when we had the Nation League game.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty decent. There was one chance where I think he should have squared it to Kahn, and he was getting hammered on Twitter for that. But apart from that, I actually think he looked all right. And I think in his mind, he's thinking I might not get an opportunity like this, again. So I'm just going to play it safe and hope that the last season that we had, that Southgate would be looking at that, thinking well, he did that last season. Let's give him a chance. But yeah, he deservedly didn't get called up. And I think since the World Cup happened, he's tried to play like the Bowen of old again, but it's just not working. And I think it's just because he hasn't been doing it since the start of the season. He's almost forgotten how to play his role.
You might have a point there. That's a bit of an uncomfortable thing to admit, but I think you might have a point. He might have been protecting himself. I mean, and again,
it might be subconscious, though, Gary. It might be
it might have been.
Thing.
And World Cups don't come around very often. You only get 2 or 3 chances in your whole career, to be in contention and of the right age. And so that might be the closest he will ever get to a World Cup. Yeah. And he was very close, wasn't he?
And the way that Bowen plays, Gary, he does invite challenges, doesn't he? When he's at full pelt, he gets kicked a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, but his form over the first half of the season put paid to him getting selected for England, right? Because he was woeful, wasn't he? He was woeful.
He's the passenger.
Yeah, he doesn't passenger.
He doesn't get the stick that Ben Rama gets. Like don't get me wrong, Ben Rama started this season very well, where I felt like he was our most important player. But then right now, like the last kind of 2 or 3 games, I'm starting to see like a bit of a dip where he's making those poor decisions that like Moyes used to like get at him for, and just he's being a bit too selfish. And I don't know. It just seems that Benny gets way more stick.
I think
when Bowen's been a passenger for the whole season, and Ben Rama's actually had a good start to the season, but he's just starting to fall off.
I actually think that most fan channels, certainly on here, most of the fan channels that I've seen, though, to be fair, I think most of them have kind of identified the Bowen dip, certainly from the start of the season, and have been calling for him to be dropped.
Hammers Chat did, definitely. I don't know what the others have been saying.
But I do think it's been blatantly obvious that he's just not been on it. And as you say, it's a shadow of the player that he was. Really is. Even now, I mean, the thing is, we have seen glimpses of it, haven't we? In recent weeks, where he's popped up with a couple of poachers finishes, but he's not. This is another thing. Do you know? This is a theory that I've got actually. Jesse Lingard came in for us, and he had a 6 month period, which was probably the best period of his career. Do you think that year that Bowen had was his Jesse Lingard period? Do you think that what's happened there is Bowen's levelled out to? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I don't think he is a 60-70 million pound forward. I don't think he is Bowen. I just think I think he's a good player. I think he's levelled out, but he set the bar so high. Now I think he's going to struggle to reach those heights again. I've got to be honest.
I think that was definitely purple patch. Do you know what? I remember when Klopp was showing a lot of interest in him, last season, and he was looking at Bowen as a Salah replacement. Which, if you think about it, in this, in Bowen's current form, is ridiculous. I mean, I know Salah's had a massive dip, but maybe we should have sold Bowen off. Like, I think they would have put down 50 million or something. I can't remember.
We had a bid of 50 million.
There is something to be said about that, though, right? Of looking at your players, of selling players at the right time when they're at their peak. It's a very difficult thing to do, and you've got to consider: would the West Ham fans put up with it? Selling, a player does well for us, they're at their peak, and we let them go like Brighton would, or
why are we like that? I think we're like that because we've got no faith. No, we've got no faith that if we sell a player that we will replace them well.
No, it's nothing to do with that.
This is the issue. I think that is it, John.
Nothing to do with that, because at that time Bowen was at the height of his game, and if we would have sold him, we didn't know this dip in form was going to come. We thought he was going to carry on. So if we would have sold him, we would have been like, oh my God, how could you have sold him?
But what I'm saying is, but that's because we're conditioned as fans that when we get a good player, you want to keep hold of them. For instance, Brighton fans, John, right?
We can't keep hold of players.
But John, what I'm saying is, do you think that Brighton supporters panic when they sell a player?
No, but there is something to be said now. Brighton have never been on the cusp of a European qualification, right? They are now, and that's why they didn't want to sell Caicedo to Arsenal, because they've said the fans have sort of turned a little bit. They've accepted they was a selling club for the short time they've been back in the Premier League, but now they are on the cusp of getting top 6 and possibly qualifying for Europe. So why not give it a go to the end of the season?
Yeah, because they're not reinvesting. Brighton are not reinvesting all of the money that comes in, are they?
No,
they're not. They're not doing that.
So much better. Their recruitment's so much better. Like if Brighton had Bowen, they would bring in like another £2 or £3 million player that's just as good. Get back up to speed. Our recruitment is so hit and miss that if we did, fuck off Liverpool for 50 mil, we would have probably replaced him with the wrong kind of player. Like, it just wouldn't have worked. So
I think a Brighton would already have Bowen's player replacement at the club.
Yeah,
they probably would. They'd already have him recruited.
At least lined up, because I mean, they're like Brighton and Brentford's recruitment is outstanding. Like, they spend next to no money in this, Premier League climate where players are going for X million, and you just look at it on paper, you're like, Jack Grealish ain't £100 million player. He's a good player, but like, if you think about that, and I just don't think that if we did sell Bowen, we would have replaced him with the right player. But then it's just, like we're kind of stuck with him now. And if, say for example, if he did go to Liverpool in the summer, would he have been the Bowen of last season under Klopp? And like, I know Liverpool.
It'd have been a Shaqiri replacement on the bench.
Well, Shaqiri was that type of player, but there is always the opportunity when you play with better players and train with better players, you will become better. So what I'm trying to say is Klopp would have got the maximum out of him. If it would have been any more than we saw at West Ham, I don't know. But when you go to a club like Liverpool, you've always got the potential to get better as a player because you're playing with better quality around you. And Klopp and the manager and the coaches are a lot better.
And the facility, our training ground's awful. Like I can't imagine that helps.
No, it probably don't. I mean, there's got to be a reason. What do you blame for all these for the injuries that we just persistently get throughout a season? I mean now.
The medical team, isn't it?
I mean, at the moment, people blame volume of fixtures, but if you look at it since the restart, we've been playing one game a week. Why are we getting injuries now? Frequently as well. Frequent injuries. It's crazy.
Because we've just got him back and we've seen what he can do. I know Aguero didn't really have the best game against Chelsea, but bar Chelsea, ever since he's been back, I think he's been excellent.
Yeah.
So that's a worry. I don't know how long Aguero's going to be out for. The Paqueta one's a concern because Moyes will shoehorn Souček back into the team when realistically, I think it should be a Lanzini or Fornals, stepping into that midfield too, because Souček offers nothing on the ball. I know Moyes puts him in there because he wins headers, but that's literally about it. If Lanzini or Fornals was like 7 feet, they'd be starting over Souček while Paqueta's out. But, if we have a midfielder like Paqueta, who's really, I wouldn't say he's really technical, but he's technical enough, to play that centre midfield role very well alongside Rice. We should have every time I've seen Lanzini and Rice play together, in a pivot, they've looked good. They've looked really good. Lanzini wants the ball all the time, even if he's being marked by two players. If Souček's being marked by two players, you're not going to think twice about passing to him. There's going to be alarm bells. You're like, oh, not going to do that.
Yeah. But it depends on the style of play, doesn't it? If you're playing a possession-based game, a progressive game, where you're tasking your team with keeping the ball and moving through the phases, I think the likes of Lanzini, Fornals, we'd see a rebirth of these players in the team. We've got some fucking good players, and they've we just don't play in a way that utilises them. In some ways, as good as Paqueta is, I said this at the weekend. The way we set up against Chelsea. Why was Paqueta even in that team? They may as well have just started Souček because of the way that we approached that game. There was no reason for him to be there, really. We weren't going to get up the pitch,
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's frustrating. But anyway, it was a really good call. Make sure you call back in, Mike.
Hang on.
Yeah, cheers, Mike.
Hang on.
Go on, mate.
Big lover of the.
Nice.
Yeah, no, like
Mike, big question.
Sorry, Mike. John's got a question for you before you go. Go on.
Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, who would you have as manager between now and the end of the season? Me, Nick, or Gary? Go.
Oof.
Come on.
I don't know because Nick will moan even if we win.
Not on my players.
Gary,
not on my players.
I'd like Gary on the sideline, but I'd like John as the manager, and then Gary as the assistant coach.
I mean, I'm John's assistant. Fucking hell, I've been bumped
John's assistant. I'm devastated, Mike.
I was manager a few calls ago till Nick talks his way into the chair.
And if my washing machine ever gets packed up, I know I can just go to John after the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, go, John.
John pays people to change light bulbs for him, mate. That's what John does.
He does special price. Thank you, John. Special price.
Cheers, Mike. Best call we've had ever.
Cheers, Mike.
See you later. Good stuff.
Have a good one, guys.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Right, let's get Nigel back. Yeah, John, you got one.
Two.
Well done. Well done,
John.
Well done, John. Well done.
I'm not picking John.
Just about picking nose.
Mr. Kahn, Mr.
I'm
Kahn.
picking me, actually.
Nigel.
Sacked a lot of you.
I'll tell you what, when Ray a good call, Nigel.
Mate, I'll talk to you later about him. I want to talk to him properly. lovely.
Well, I've got, like I said,
Lovely
I've got his number now. So so I'll give him a call. Maybe might set up another call with you and him.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah.
We do it in black and white, though, eh?
Really good. Do it in black and white. Yeah.
Bit of nostalgia.
Actually, you're sharp tonight, you and you.
But anyway, Nigel, what would you like to talk about?
Nick, I've got a challenge for you.
Go on.
All right, you ready?
Go on.
If you say one nice thing about Moyes, I'll say one nice thing about the London Stadium.
One nice thing about Moyes.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, this is a struggle. Go on.
Hang on, I can do it. Give us a minute. David Moyes. David. What? I must be able to do it. I must be able to do it. I like the fact that he wears a tracksuit on the sidelines and not a suit. There you go.
Is that the best you can do?
That's a positive. Go on. So come on, Nigel.
Go on. All right. 23 years ago, 25,000 fans watched West Ham play football. Yesterday, it was 52,000. They'll say 62, but definitely empty seats.
Yeah.
That has to be a positive from the stadium.
That's
More
your one
fans.
good thing. Yeah, okay.
That's a positive.
It's a definite positive. Yeah.
It's a positive.
Yeah,
So
without
capacity.
doubt.
Yeah.
The more.
Yeah.
In 23 years, we've gone from 25,000, and that was a sellout
Yeah.
at Upson Park, to 52, 55. You can get, I'm sure we've had 60 there.
Yeah.
So that's it.
We've
That's better than your tracksuit one.
We've had 66,000, Nigel, according to the
No, we
numbers.
I've got a great one about Moyes. I've got a compliment about Moyes. He when lockdown first happened, he went and delivered fruit to the underprivileged.
No, I'll tell you what. No, I will find a positive. Okay, David Moyes was the pandemic king, and I must admit, I've very thoroughly enjoyed that little period when football came back. When football came back, I think at that period there, it was good. We did well. We came back well.
He's not a bad bloke. He's a good bloke. None of this is personal. Just don't like the way he does football. That's all. But other than that, he's a good stand-up bloke.
Yeah. Lovely Moyes.
Who delivered fruit and veg during the pandemic. Did a fine job.
He did. Yeah, I know.
Can we clip that? Nick said, "Lovely Moyes."
Lovely Moyes.
Clip that.
Lovely Moyes. Yeah. But anyway, Nigel. Obviously, look, you're pretty much glass. Well, you're so fucking glass full. It's filling over, isn't it?
Yeah, his glass ain't half full.
Your glass, it's completely full. So, how certain are you? Are you certain that West Ham will survive this year, or are you not?
No, I'm not certain. You can't. No one can be certain, can they? No one can be, because we're 5 points off bottom. So, but there's 8 or 9 teams, and 3 will go down. Southampton could still get out of it. It is possible. Teams have been in worse situations. West Ham's been in worse situations than this and got out of it. West Ham's been in better situations than this and gone down. So there's an argument both ways.
What was that stat that you gave us? Do you remember? Sorry to interrupt. The stat that you gave us when you was on the show. And you said at that period, halfway through a season where you're in the bottom 3, you're in a relegation fight. I don't know whether it was in our entire history, but you said when we've acted and we've replaced the manager, we've always survived. When we haven't, we've gone down. No. The stat
is that every time we've sacked a manager halfway through a season, we stayed up.
Right.
So if you look at all the seasons we've been relegated, it was when we kept the manager until we was relegated.
Yeah. There you go.
No. But we've also had seasons where we've kept a manager and stayed up, right?
Stayed up.
Yeah.
But every time we sacked a manager, you could say it worked.
Yeah.
You could, yes.
Do you think there is any way they will sack Moyes now? Or do you think that's it now to the end of the season? It's shit or bust now. Do you think it's shit or bust with him?
I think if he loses Spurs, loses Man United, loses Forest, or I think it's Spurs, Forest, and Man United. Well, yeah, I think there'll be a lot of pressure on him then to go. It's the psychological effect of dropping into the bottom three as well. I think really puts the pressure on. The pressure was really on him when he actually dropped into the bottom three.
I don't think Spurs. I don't think Spurs matters, Nigel. I don't think Spurs matters. I don't think Man United matters either. I think the one is Forest.
Cumulative, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. It's cumulative.
True.
If he gets a points against Spurs,
if it was cumulative, he would have been gone by now, though.
Well, no, because apparently, if the rules are, it's 6, isn't it? And he drew that Leeds game.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I can't believe
if you believe that. I don't believe that myself.
No, I can't believe that.
That was a quote that he said years ago.
Yeah,
it just.
I know, but if you won a club like that is unbelievable.
I know.
That is shocking.
But what I will say is, where I do agree with you, Nigel, with what you said before is when it comes to, you know, the type of manager that we could get. You said it earlier on a WhatsApp, and I can't disagree with you. Now I find that depressing. Because I hate the style, I hate the defensive style, and you said in that message, we're not going to get another manager in that's going to play the style that Nick wants to see now, because Sullivan's now, especially now, I think he probably sees it as though he's tried the expensive thing with Pellegrini. He's never going to go back to trying that again. I don't know.
Yeah, and Pellegrini wasn't afforded the time that Moyes has been, in a way.
No, he was gone after 19 points in 19 games, wasn't he?
Yeah. And what are we, 22 games and 20 points?
I know our attendance, Nigel, is based on tickets sold rather than people being in their seats. But for us to have the fourth highest average attendance across Europe is amazing, isn't it? 61,118.
Yes. Yeah. It is funny because, I always say when you look at the rich list of clubs in Europe, we're the biggest club in that list to have never won the league title in its country.
Yeah.
And that's crazy when you think of how big a club we are with the support. When you match our support up against clubs all around Europe and the world, it's a fantastic support.
Yeah,
it really is.
Let's say there's 55,000 now. That's still huge. For a team
Ed always said it. He never saw the London Stadium, but he always said West Ham is one of the best supported clubs in the country, and he's been proven right.
I think if we get to a cup final, when we get to a cup final, I think you could sell 60,000 seats 5 times. I think you could. I think there's. I think you really could.
I think we took to the Blackpool game 55,000.
Yeah.
And that don't include the West Ham fans in the Blackpool end.
No.
No.
So
it didn't.
No. So it's quite possible that, I've not been funny. If you imagine it now, we've got 50 thousand season ticket holders. How many members? How many people want to go to a cup final? We could probably play at Wembley ourselves.
Yeah.
Without any other fans there.
So why did West Ham send 3,000 tickets back to Man United the other day? They could have gone.
Because it was on a Wednesday night, and the thing is, it's the way the club's always done it. Instead of taking the maximum, they start off at a base level, and then they bring it up. So they took 3,000, sold them, took the next 3,000. Problem is, if those 3,000 had sold out to like 10, 12 points, they might have took the next 3,000. They didn't. They sold out the members. So when you
they went all the way down, did they?
You got to pay up. Yeah, you got to pay up front for the tickets, or you have to buy the 3,000. You can't send any back not sold. Right. West Ham just will not do that.
Right. So, John, you could have got tickets.
Rightly or wrongly.
John, you could have got tickets. You didn't try.
But I'm getting them off someone else. I'm getting them off someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your prediction for the upcoming 3 games then, Nigel? I'll tell you what. No, one moment. Actually, I want to ask you the question that I asked Gary and John earlier on, and that is, take your fan hat off for a minute. We all know how much you love a cup, because this is what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Is what David Moyes is actually going to focus on. So, say we get through to the end of February, we're still hovering. We're a point or 2 above relegation. Might not be in it, but a point or 2 above. The European games start again Thursday, Sunday. We've already got players dropping like flies, playing once a week. You're the manager. Do you deprioritise that European competition? I know it's hard for you to do because but say it's your job. What do you think that David Moyes is going to do?
No, look, I suppose when you're the manager and you're employed by the club, and the ownership are what they are, they want to protect their investment.
Yeah,
and that is Premier League football.
Yeah,
it is, isn't it?
So
definitely,
they may look at it. It depends who you get drawn against. At the end of the day, if you look at the Conference League, you could say no disrespect, but it probably is disrespectful. You know, it ain't a great. You know, it's the easiest cup to win when you look at it because for West Ham, it's the easiest cup to win. Look at the teams that are left in it. It's probably only one team you might think, oh, I wouldn't want to play them till the final. All the rest, you think Mickey Mouse, really.
Fiorentina,
Lazio, Fiorentina, and one other. There's a few others actually. There's a few others, including one that I'd never heard of called FC Kledge.
But you can't write any team off. I mean, we struggled against Kidderminster the other year.
Plunge.
Romanian, isn't they? Romanian team, isn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been in Champions League. They've done all right in the Champions League.
Have they?
Yeah, they did do better.
Yeah,
but Romanian team,
look,
never heard of them.
But last season in Europe, we beat 4-5 teams. Or last season, actually, if you look at last season in the Premier League and in Europe, we beat 4-5 teams that played Champions League football that season.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're playing in the strongest team in Europe by a country mile. That much is obvious when you compare where we are. So a lot of the teams we've played, they haven't really competed. I expected Anderlecht, for instance, to give us a really good game, didn't you?
Yeah, but even if you look under company, they didn't win the title. They finished in 4th, 5th. Bruges are the dominant team over in Belgium. And I think a couple of other took them as well.
Yeah.
So it's not we're looking at Anderlecht as the name, the
FC
the team that beat us.
Yeah. I think what's his name?
I had a letter. Sorry.
I think Scott Parker's won 1 in 9 since he's been over Bruges.
Oh, is he?
I think
he's done well then.
I think he's won 1. He's won 1, lost 1, and drew the rest, or some ridiculous stat like that.
I think Carrick's got to be our next manager, hasn't he? Carrick's got to be our next manager.
Quickly,
but one second, Nigel. Do you know the if you look, because obviously look at the way that Wolves, Lopetegui reacted to going a goal down and going down to 10 men against Southampton. The way that he reacted, the way that he ended up, the Wolves ended up having more possession, more shots on goal. They completely swarmed over them. Yeah, it's embarrassing, but that's because there's a positive mindset. Do you not think that we do need to adapt a bit more of a positive mindset in the second half of this season? Because you look at Leicester against Tottenham. Do you not think that we need to start going for it a little bit more?
Yeah, the bloke, I've got a vicar that sits in front of me, so and he listens to me, and he would have heard me, and he will say on the podcast, whatever, when he made his subs, is that eight at the back? That's what I was saying. When he brought Downs on, and you're going, well, there's 5 defenders. In Rice's defensive midfield, he's already brought Souček on, then he brought Downs on. So is that an 8-2 then?
Yeah. Well, it was.
I said on the, people can slag me up in the chat. I don't care. He's a fucking lunatic. I don't care. They can say what they like. On the podcast, even people said, I'm losing faith in Moyes. I said it.
Yeah.
We'll see it out to the end of the season. I was talking with a mate yesterday. I said, look, if he goes, I'm not bothered. If he stays, not really bothered.
Yeah.
To be honest. I'm ambivalent now towards him.
Yeah.
That's where I am. I'm ambivalent towards him.
I think I am a
I
bit.
will defend him sometimes when people go over the top, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
But but I will defend him then, or defend some of the things that's thrown at him. But I get what you're saying, Nick. The Chelsea retreated into their shell and we did nothing. And when you look at it tactically, you can see they were sort of playing with false 9, and he did nothing really to sort of counteract that.
No.
And actually, by bringing Downs on, not knocking Downs or whatever, you think, and you see Downs I could see he was getting warmed up, and you're thinking, well, he ain't going to bring Souček off because he brought him on. Is he bringing Rice off? Because Rice was the one that weren't well before the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you think perhaps Rice can't last. I think, and then he takes off whoever he took off.
But was you a bit surprised he took Antonio off? Because Antonio was just starting to get into the game.
I don't get the problem. Well, not the thing. This is where I get frustrated. Against Liverpool away, we played Scamacca and Antonio together for 25 minutes, and we battered Liverpool.
Yeah.
Didn't get the equaliser, but we were the better team.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, didn't he see that? Did he not see that? And I don't know if it's a thing with him where he don't want two strikers on the pitch because he's worried about injuries. So he'll only play one striker. But Ings is not Antonio's style. Ings likes to run onto the ball.
Yeah.
He ain't a back to the defender.
No.
And actually, by taking Antonio off, he nullified our attack.
Yeah.
It
He did. And what I don't understand, we've said it earlier on. I think when we was having a to and fro on WhatsApp earlier on, you mentioned about how Moyes likes to go wide to attack, and he does.
Yeah.
But what I don't get is when you play with a back three, especially when the game started. So Moyes has got his tactical plan. He doesn't know what Chelsea he's going to face because they've got a collection of stars. Who knows what team they're going to put out? But 5 minutes after that game started, you would have thought he would have looked at that and gone, "Fuck, we're outnumbered in midfield. We're 2 versus 3. Felix is pulling the strings." You would have thought that he would have made some sort of personnel change, because why not? Why can't you play with, if you're going to play 3 at the back? Why can't you play a 5-3-2? So you got 5 at the back, you got 3 in central midfield, so you ain't getting overrun, and you got 2 centre forwards, and play counter attacking, play direct. Do a Brentford.
Yeah, no, Gary put it in the chat earlier, and I said it the other day. We was talking about how Harry used to play.
Yeah,
and when Harry played 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, we had Trevor Sinclair out wide.
Yeah,
that's right.
Stan Lears out wide.
Yeah.
He tried Julian Dix there once, and we got beat 4-2 by Charlton, and I think that's what finished Dix's career at West Ham.
But above all else, though, it was an attack. It was an attacking formation that was also very solid in the middle of the pitch, right?
Yeah,
and you had the luxury of having 2 up front as well. You could have 2 up front, which is it's like a distant dream. It's like a luxury. It's like some exotic formation, and it ain't, is it?
But he played 3 central defenders, didn't he? He played 3 central defenders like we do. But then what he had was 2 wingers that could get up and down, that worked hard with the wingers. Then he would have Lomas as the sort of poor man's Declan Rice role, you could say, but that was the role. But then he had more flair players playing in front of him, and then he would have Di Canio up top with Kitson or whoever was the striker of choice.
But he has got, though, hasn't he? When you look at it, you look at the tools that he's currently got. Once obviously Scamacca's back from injury, on paper you look at that, you think a 5-3-2 with Ings and Scamacca up front, a little man big man combo. Because I think both players will struggle on their own in a typical Moyes system.
Yeah.
But together they'll probably flourish if they're played the right way. And can you see him doing that at any point, or do you not think he will?
He hasn't done it yet. He won't do it.
Well, look. Once he's got 3 fit strikers, you'd like to think he will.
Because then I'd think we'd definitely be safe. I think if we played with Scamacca and Ings up front in that sort of system, I don't think we'd have any issues.
Well, there was a moment, I think there was more than one moment, where we broke. And when you looked in the box, we had 1 player. And I said this the other day to someone, when we got the 3 that are playing, so he's playing the 5, and then he's got Souček and Rice or in the middle. So that leaves 3 attacking players. When one of them's got the ball, 2 are in the box. Well, 2 ain't enough in the box.
No.
When you look at Brentford, when you look at Brighton, they've got 3 or 4 in the box.
They get bodies forward.
On the edge.
Yeah,
we're not getting bodies because we're too busy defending.
Yeah.
So if you're playing wing backs and you got Ben Rama and Bowen, we're too wide. We've got too many too wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's took this route now and he's got points with it, and this is what he's gonna stick with.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think if we finish 17th, 16th, and we'll bomb out the cups, then I'd like to think they will pull the trigger.
Oh, let's hope so.
At the end of the
so.
season,
It's got to happen.
But
It's
at
got
the
to
end
happen.
of the day, the only thing is going forward. And my problem is, and this is why I look at the ownership is. Our ownership's always been short-termism. Every managerial appointment was short-termism. When does West Ham break that cycle?
When the owners go.
Under new ownership,
New ownership, hopefully. That's it.
Would fans allow?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't keep rebuilding every 2 years because what you get left with is like, we had Pellegrini for 18 months. We let him spend 150 odd million. And then we bring Moyes in, who sells them off for 40 million.
Yeah. No,
the club cannot afford to keep doing that unless the ownership goes and it is some nutcase with billions to throw about like candy floss.
And that's why, Nigel, isn't it? That's why we were saying this earlier on. That's why I think the fans, literally, we kind of get so possessive over good players because we don't get very many of them. And we panic at the thought of selling them for any price because we don't trust the club to replace them. I think that's why. I think
we
that's
never
why
sell players for good money.
No, we leave it too long, don't we?
Transfer fee is Arnautovic, is it not?
Well, how much could we have got for Diop if we'd have sold him at the right time?
Well, a lot more than we got. You could have got 40 or 50 million for him at some point. At one point,
and
he's playing well as well. Isn't he?
But that's, people talk about the Brighton model. That's a bit different. The thing about Brighton is Peter, the Bloom geezer, I've forgotten his first name, but Bloom.
Tony Bloom, innit?
Tony Bloom. I think he's put £400 million into Brighton.
Yeah.
That apparently he won't ever ask for back because he makes so much money doing whatever he does. I know he's a poker player and computer analyst and everything.
Yeah.
And, so when you look at Brighton, you've got to look at the fact is that it's a one-man ownership and model, and it's a man that's so fabulously wealthy, he blows Sullivan out of the water. And he's spent half his life bankrolling that football club.
Yeah. Yeah, he has, and we haven't got we haven't got an owner like that. Unfortunately, it's just not the case. But anyway, look, we're going to close the call now, Nigel. So what we'll do the Spurs predictions now. I'll go first. On this one, I am going to predict a West Ham win. I'm going 2-1.
My God.
I'm going for a 2-1 win away at Spurs. I think we could do it. It does all depend. Look, we can certainly do it. It depends what Moyes does. I think we can beat Spurs. I do think we can.
Depends who's in goal for Spurs.
Craig Foster. Lloris is out for a month, isn't he?
He's out for a while.
Well,
Lloris
yeah, but they might look at Fraser. Yeah, but they might look at Fraser Foster and think we better. I don't care if he's injured or not. He's playing.
Yeah. I know.
Lloris with long legs better than Foster.
Yeah. He was poor. He was poor.
I'm going to go 1-0. 1-0 West Ham. What are you going, Nigel?
Go on, John. Go on, Nigel.
Well, I was going to take 1-0, but I'll take 2-1 in West Ham. I do fancy.
We ain't scoring more than one goal in a game. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Well, we did.
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. My rationale is Tottenham sit off as well. So I think it could be a bit of a dull affair.
I think there's one goal in it.
I think we'll play 5 at the back. I think it'll be a cagey affair. Tottenham can't afford to fucking get done by us now, not after Leicester midweek. Yeah.
Well, they're going to be like a wounded animal. That's what I'm worried about a little bit.
But they never come out and kill anyone, do they? Spurs really. It's not Conte's way. I don't think it is. He's pragmatic as well, isn't he?
Well, it'll be.
They're like us. They start badly.
Yeah.
It'll be a very
normally they
go
go. It was funny. The Leicester game was reversed to them. They don't normally go one up. They normally go one down.
I know. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that on Match of the Day. It did make me feel better. I don't know why that is.
Because you live in Tottenham.
Well, I was driving back from the game, and they would talk. They were cut into the game. Spurs were 1-0 up, and we were sitting in chat on the A13, and it come back 1-0, and it was they said something about Fraser Foster, and I looked at my son-in-law and went, Fraser Foster in goal for Spurs. He went, yeah, Lloris is out. I went, give it 10 minutes, Leicester will get another. Well, it was 3 minutes later.
And the thing is, right? I know there were some good goals, especially that first goal. The fucking oh my god, what a rocket!
Yeah,
but the rest of them, I think he should have maybe done a little bit better with them, shouldn't he? You know,
well, the one they had disallowed. I mean,
Barnes.
They said his toenail was offside, but the other geezer's shoulder in the top of the picture was further forward.
Yeah,
and you're looking at VAR, and I'd scrap VAR. And funny enough, if there was no VAR, we'd have won that game yesterday because the linesman flagged offside.
He gave them both, didn't he? He gave them both.
The linesman gave ours, and the linesman allowed our goal.
I mean that scenario that John played out earlier on, because the bad one was the Brentford one, the Arsenal Brentford one, where they drew the line along the wrong defender. If they do,
the way I heard it was that they spent 3.5 minutes looking at the first offside.
Yeah.
That they failed to spot that the geezer that hooked the ball over was offside.
Yeah.
When the ball was headed to him.
Yeah.
And it was like they panicked into, they forgot to look at him.
I know.
There was like 2 that they should have looked at. And if that's the case, that's poor.
And they've held their hands up, and they've as John said, they've issued an apology. So if that's the case, and Arsenal do lose a title, it's that type of thing that could see it binned. I think if there's an accumulation of fuck ups, it's that sort of thing that could see the end of it, and I hope it does. Football's much better without it, isn't it? It's much better without VAR.
Well, you say that. The funny thing about it is the reason VAR come in, there was a great thing years ago. Everton beat Bolton 2-1 with a ball that didn't cross the line. And at the end of the season, Everton stayed up and Bolton went down. And if that game had been a draw, I think Bolton would have stayed up and Everton would have gone down.
Yeah.
And that's when they were screaming, there's got to be a way, there's got to be a way.
Yeah.
And this is the way.
But it's still human error, though. It's still down to humans, and it's people that make the error.
Well,
that's the trouble.
There is an easy fix for me, and it's changing the rules. And the rule would be, if your feet are on side, if your feet are level with the defender, any part of your feet, got to be clear daylight. Any part of your feet, we play with football with our feet. So if any part of your feet is level with the defender, you're on side. Not your head, not your shoulder, not your arse, not your dick.
I think it should be a daylight fucking rule. I think if you're in line with the defence, even if you are leaning forward, if you're in line with the defence, you're not offside. It should be if you're fucking offside, if there's daylight there.
Listen,
that's what it should be.
Listen, the biggest thing for me is you get given offside for your hand being offside. You cannot score a goal with your fucking hand. So straight away, I'm like, what? It's nonsense. Scrap it all. Move on.
I know.
What coaches have got to do is go back to actually coaching the old rule, which was not level, but you had to be behind the defender. So the old rule, when we were kids, well, me and Gary anyway. Or I don't know, Gary's older than me now.
Yeah,
apparently.
I'm 71.
Yeah, according to Ray. So the old rule was you had to be behind the defender, not level with
But you do that anyway. We do that now because there's always an opposition parent running our fucking line. So if there's anything that's marginal, the flag goes up. So you've always got to start your run behind the line. So it is coached now. Yeah. You don't get official linesmen. You've always got
teaching this, Nigel. You can't tell a coach anything.
Yeah, but you always got fucking hooky parents that put their flag up for bastards.
Everyone's against you, Nick. Hertfordshire, East
Right,
Hertfordshire.
did you win this weekend?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we're top of the league, mate.
free kick.
Top of the league.
Top of the league.
Top of the league. Yeah, doing well. Doing well.
Right, we're going to close down. We're at nearly 3 hours.
Anyway, Nigel, we're going to let you go, mate. Thanks for the call.
Cheers, Nigel. See you later.
Cheers, mate.
Good night, mate.
So Nigel is now Moyes out. Yeah, good. Nice. Thank you.
I noticed you hung up on him.
Change it, John. Just change that to Nigel Kahn Moyes out just before he goes.
No, it's nasty.
But no, that was a good call, actually. I thought there was some really good calls there, weren't there?
There were some brilliant calls. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
And that's the thing. All of them, even my latest troll, Bend Over, you fucking weirdo with that weird name. You can come out and you can say we're an echo chamber. We're not. People can come on. They can have a dig at me if they want. It's fine. It's fine. We listen to everyone.
Yeah.
We know.
Right. So let's finish. Thank you all for joining, all your lovely contributions in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe. Go on. Please subscribe. If you want help subscribing, just DM Nick and he'll tell you how. Right.
Yep.
Give the video a like, hit the bell notification icon, all that usual good stuff. Until next time, be back in the rambles this week. You're doing what? You doing the first? We're doing the same order as last week, are we? We doing?
No. I'll go later in the week this week because I've got a busy week.
God's sake. Oh, right. Okay. Anyway, we'll do that. And we'll be back to talk about Tottenham as well next weekend. So that'll be fun. Anyway, until next time, see you soon and come on, you irons.
Yeah, you irons.